I'm
All right.
drinking water out of this massive bottle.
That's a lot of water. Holy crap.
This
And
was the most value Y
the most values.
buy. Well, they were like, you can buy this bottle for £1, or you can buy like a small bottle, like a regular bottle for like 95 pence. And I'm like, well, I have your £1 then for what is basically tap water, right? Like they just bottled some tap water for me.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to advertise.
Yeah, you advertise whilst I try to package not designed for long distance transportation outside of Europe. We've also got that in Chinese for some reason. And then, so where does this water come from?
Where does the water come from? I mean, the sky, right?
Product of France. Hmm. I don't think it's spring water though. No, it can't be spring water, right? Because I don't know if you can say spring water. They've just bottled tap water. Like the
No, they
person who
haven't
managed to
bottled. They
bottle
haven't just,
tap water
they haven't
and
just
sell it
bottled
to us was
tap water.
genius. They do just bottle tap water.
They bottle special water, special magic water.
Yeah, I'm sure Coca-Cola, spends all that money to extract spring water when they could just bottle tap water and idiots will buy it.
Oh, they for sure do. For sure do.
Does Coca-Cola own Evian now? I don't even know. Whereas Evian's probably big enough to own itself, right?
I'm sure Evian. No, I don't know. All these brands are all owned by other people.
It's probably owned by Disney. Disney seem to own everything now.
Is it worth posting? I don't know where to post our stream to say hi to everyone because we've been gone for a while. Hello.
We have
Hi,
a
Tassini.
while.
How's it going?
Hey.
We're just getting ourselves situated here. It's Gemma, so I'm posting in our ad that it's Gemma's fault we're late. Very specifically.
Wait a minute. Should you not be posting it was your fault there was no stream last week? Because
No,
I
because
did
that's
stream
last week.
solo
Last week's done.
and
You
you
could have
did
said
not
that
stream.
last week. You could have said, yeah, Carol knows. Why is Gemma like this? I mean, really. It's her fault. No, the trip was great.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your trip.
I went to the woods. It was great. I hung out there and just didn't do anything. Actually, that's not true. I took a bike ride. My friend was like, "Oh, let's do a bike ride while we're in the woods." I'm like, "Oh, a bike ride sounds good. I like bicycle. I haven't ridden a bicycle in like 15 years. Let's do a bike ride." And they're like,
Can you still ride a bike? Because I don't think I could ride a bike anymore.
honestly, I totally like, "Oh, let's do a bike ride." And they're like, "Okay, let's just do it. I'll sign up for this one. It's 25 miles." I was like, "All right, 25's a
25
number."
miles.
25
A
is a
lot of
number, so I was like, "Sure, let's do it. 25. That sounds like a fine number. We'll do a 25-mile bike ride." He said. Um,
Your ass must have ached after that.
I gotta be honest about all of me. So the first thing I will say is that this bike ride was mostly downhill.
Hmm.
So it was a kind of bike ride where you went to a town and they put us in a bus and the bus drove us up to like not like the top of a mountain like crazily, but and it was up some elevation. And so we were gonna
Okay.
bike back down the elevation. So we're already talking like it's not as bad as it could have been. It could have been a lot more intense. So it's vaguely downhill. The counter that was it was kind of like gravelly trails. So I feel
Mm.
like the gravel provided enough friction that it ended up being about like level. You still had to pedal
Mm.
because your bike would slow down. It wasn't so downhill you could just coast. But it didn't. It wasn't really up. There were maybe a couple very short segments where you went a little bit uphill. It was very non-strenuous in terms of like the grading of the course. Um, the bikes we got were really nice, actually. Maybe I'm just not up to date on bikes, but they had like disc brakes and they had like clicky shifters. Like I don't know if people again when I was a kid, your bikes came with like those horrible horseshoe brakes that would like get misaligned and never stop the bike ever again. And like if you were fancy, you had like these caliper brakes that were hooked onto pegs on the frame, so they would never get misaligned and they were better.
Yeah.
And these brakes were actually like disc brakes that pressed on a disc in the middle of the wheel. Like they were very nice brakes, which I guess is honestly, if you're gonna rent bikes to strangers, give them good brakes.
Yeah.
Um, and then the shifters, like the old shifters, were just like you put them in the right place in your derailleur move. Like these were like clicky shifters that would just like set it. And again, this might just be also just it prevents people from making dumb mistakes. Nice bikes. Got on the
Yeah.
bike. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then like 5 miles in, I'm like, oh, we're done, right? And it's like, no, no, it goes forever. So it was a little. It was maybe more than I had
25
intended.
miles is far, man.
It was
I
very
have
pretty though.
queued already, by the way, just so you know that I am
Oh,
progressing
okay.
the
Let me
Mahjong
see your.
content in the background.
I should.
That's yeah, 25 miles. There's no way I couldn't even cycle 25 miles on a static bike. I don't think
Really, I don't know. We took a couple
I
breaks.
struggle with that.
We took a couple breaks.
Mm.
Yeah, it was definitely not what I should have done, shall we say? It was definitely not the right decision for me. In terms of,
But
like...
you're looking quite a lot slimmer for it, though, so
Am I?
maybe
I
it
feel
was
like
exactly... Yeah.
maybe it's a shirt. I don't know. I'm not slimmer for it. I'm about the same. It's fine. I'm just who I am. But, yeah.
No,
See,
you're looking very well. You're looking very
well,
well.
that's good. It's because I'm so vaccinated. It's...
Oh, I got my date for my vaccination.
Let me change my
Yay!
camera. Camera's a little low.
I'm getting, but my first dose is on the 26th.
That's more my
I'm
face than my
excited.
torso shot. Which is totally legal on Twitch, by the way. I am. If you can't see, my feet are in a tiny hot tub right now. So, viewers, please. This is my hot tub
exactly.
stream.
He's looking well. Thank you. No, so it's obviously a vaccination is good for you.
It's vaccination.
Good for
It's all the
yourself.
5G rays I've been absorbing, and I am now magnetic. So,
None of these things sound all that bad to me. No, I am well excited to be getting my jab. Like it's on my calendar with little hearts and smiley faces. I am.
Oh, you're
I don't
psyched.
know,
You're
like
psyched. Hashtag psyched for jab.
But do you know what? It feels like after all of this time, I know it's going to take, they're putting 8 to 12 weeks in between the jabs here. And then, of course, it takes 3 weeks after that. So I know that it's still going to be a while before I am fully vaccinated. But at least, I feel like I'm moving through. Because I'm one of the last cohort now to get vaccinated here, right? Because, they've rerouted the vaccines and stuff to city areas and areas that are having, like, these problems with this Delta variant. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that, actually. Like, I don't actually have to go outside. I don't have to serve anyone. So I get that I should be at the back of the queue. So it's kind of exciting that now that,
I don't know.
I
I feel
there.
good about America finally doing something else better and faster. Like, finally, for once, doing anything good, which is just getting everyone vaccinated as quickly as possible. Now, we're giving away 500 million doses, I think?
Yeah, and that's great news. That's,
which is good.
Everyone needs to be vaccinated. Everyone needs to be vaccinated if we don't want more variants.
Well, I'm glad we're doing things to actively get vaccines. I mean, I know we bought it all. I get it. I know. But, like, I'm glad we're doing things now to be like, everyone else also here, vaccine, just have it. As opposed to just sitting around being like, it's not our problem. Screw you guys. Like,
Chiral reminded me about the tower. No, I've still not.
Oh, I did the tower a few times over the past week, actually. Every time I'm queued for something, I go do the tower.
And we're hosting G7. So if there's a very loud noise suddenly, you can blame the Americans. Because do you know what? I've lived near an American base for a lot of my life because I lived in Frankfurt, which is near base. I lived in Sagami-Ono, which is near base as well. And my God, like Americans in general, I like American military. Like, oh, why do they have to make so much noise? No one else has to make that much noise. Only them. Sorry, Dave. Your military make a lot of noise.
I don't judge.
A lot of noise.
I don't judge.
A lot of noise.
I'm not part of our military, so you can say whatever you want.
Why do they have to fly so low as well? They do realize there's more sky, don't
Maybe
they?
they're not allowed to use it. Maybe your country's being stingy with your sky.
No.
I bet the Queen's like, the sky's all mine, and you can have the first 500 feet while you're visiting.
But it's funny, because all of these like world leaders are coming in on their private jets, Air Force One. It's like a the sequel to Apocalypse Now here at the moment. I just want to open the window and scream the horror every day.
But apparently,
anyway.
so tell me, was I right about the research I did? Because you were mad about your airport, right?
Oh right, yeah. So our airport it's a very provincial airport. We barely need what we have now. And they spent £8 million.
Making it bigger.
And I'd like to put making it bigger, which, do you know what? I'd be okay with that if we generally had money. But we have spent the last 12 months saying that we don't have enough money, which is something like 2 million, to feed children over over the holiday period when they didn't have any food because of coronavirus. Like, but you have money for that? You have money for that? And we don't need that extension. The airport didn't need that extension. They could have landed in another airport and trained down. I didn't because I was so angry. Sorry.
Okay, so I read this. Tell me if I'm right.
No, the Queen came on a train. The Queen came on a train. If the Queen can come on a train, it's good enough for everyone else. And I don't even like the Queen, but still, if she can come on a train, everyone else can come.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me check out this article.
So
the article says, Newquay Airport is preparing for a record busy summer. Newquay Airport is planning to have 10 different airlines fly to and from its runways this summer, more than ever before. They're going to be transporting travelers to new destinations as well as welcoming visitors to Cornwall following the announcement that Edelweiss plans to fly between Newquay and Zurich this summer.
Yes, but none of those will be the big jets that they needed for the Air Force One, to accommodate Air Force One. They aren't allowed to fly that size of jet over our airspace.
EasyJet is booking 2 new routes to Newquay this summer from Manchester and Glasgow.
But they'll still be small airplanes. They're still small airplanes. They are not the size. I mean, first of all, I don't know why these American military planes are quite so big. Little fighters are what you really need.
Well, anyway. The 747 is not a tiny jet, to be fair. Like 747 is a decently big jet, and that's really the big one. I think the other ones don't need as big of a runway. It's just Air Force One, really.
Exactly. We've had it accommodates regular jets. Part of the reason that it's so busy this summer is because of coronavirus. People aren't getting away to Spain and France like they normally would. So this area has become obscenely busy.
Well, it looks like there's a whole bunch of different airways here.
Yeah, but none of them need the big plane. You're not even allowed to fly those planes in normal circumstances.
I don't know, man.
And I do want them to fall in the sea at Dawlish. That's absolutely right. I just don't understand in the current circumstances when this county, the duchy and neighbouring counties are struggling with severe levels of poverty, caused by the coronavirus pandemic, that these world leaders are jetting in on their private jets to lecture us about carbon footprints and how they're going to build back better after the pandemic, and they are spending these obscene amounts of money to prance around in £1,000 dresses and party like it's 2019.
I like how that's our old times now, by the way. Like it's 2019 or something. And
I kid you not, they're all touching each other. There was a photo of the Queen standing right in front of these world leaders, and I'm like, dudes, did you not hear? You're supposed to be social distancing, kids. You've told us all of this. You've hammered it into us. I would just, and then for their their post photo, they're all stood 2 meters apart.
You're behind the times, though, Gemma. It's over now. It's over now. And now the new vision is we're done with this.
No, yeah, for you guys maybe, but they're looking to extend our lockdown by 4 more weeks, and I find it really galling. That they're behaving like this.
So should I not book that flight to Rome? Is what I'm hearing.
Well, Rome might let you in.
But
I wouldn't recommend a flight to London. No.
I don't know. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this much about the money for the airport. It seems like the airport's got 10 new routes, and those routes all pay the airport. So, for all we know, the airport will make the money back.
Well, no, but it came out of taxpayer money. They're not going to pay the taxpayer back. They never will.
True. But the taxpayer might make money if more people come to Cornwall to vacate, as a vacation.
And you know what? If I thought at any point my government had done that analysis, I would be less. But I know they haven't, and I know that they're going to stand there and be like, "Oh well, do you know what? A few more children will starve this summer holiday. Oh well, what are you going to do? Because apparently we can't, put our hands in our pockets. Because, people are still having to self-isolate because if they are exposed to coronavirus, you lose 2 weeks worth of work. But people don't get paid for 2 weeks worth of work. I find they're telling us with one on one side that we don't have any money left. We're not going to look after our population, but we are going to extend the runway for a very limited event.
But also you get maybe Joe Biden will come back. Oh, there we go. Not as much. Maybe Joe Biden will come back. You'll get more Joe Biden in your life.
Joe Biden did not invite us to the White House either. It's a big deal.
Well, yeah.
He invited someone else, right? Who did he invite? He invited Merkel, I think, or some European.
Oh, well,
high up kind of. Anyway.
I mean, we appreciate people who stay in their allyships.
Anyway, I do hope that some positive changes comes out of G7, but I am a little disappointed. Not a little. I'm very disappointed in general with their behavior and their attitudes.
Our biggest thing in G7 is probably going to be reminding the world or notifying the world we once again give a crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for the Americans, it's going to be a good standing hand. I'm going to pawn the Green Dragon if it comes out.
You got one Dora now, so ugh. I hate having one isolated Dora, but yeah, this is a hand you can. Pardon me. Just rush a bit.
Hidden away, I see is opposite us. Hi, hidden away. And do you know what? The other thing that annoyed me, which is a little bit, it's not actually any of our leaders. Well, it's our leaders' fault, not your leaders' fault. But they've closed the train line, they've closed the roads, blah blah blah, because of course
reveal their name to be Potemkin D's nuts. Good for you, Potemkin D's nuts.
But
now hold on, we're shifting away from HOTS.
Yeah, because someone's how it
Oh,
there
it's reach across.
as
Okay,
we,
sorry, I got
yeah.
distracted by moving the,
So
the
I'm just
window.
yeah. They've closed our roads, they've closed our train lines, huge amounts of disruption. You know,
Time
you
to
have
get
to
rid
walk
of
around with 2 or 3 types of identification depending on your identification. Um, and then they were there going like, oh, but we're not allowed. We don't want to have Extinction Rebellion protesting because that causes a lot of disruption to the locals and business. I'm like, you think Extinction Rebellion are the ones causing disruption? You bitches. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
I'm surprised you didn't throw the
yeah.
door there.
Oh, did someone throw it? Oh, yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
that was
Sorry,
like.
I
I mean,
didn't
you
miss.
probably can still
That
get
was,
away with it, but that
mid-round.
was like your cleanest chance to get
Yeah,
rid of it.
the like, get lucky to miss it. Zaps, you love the rant. The rant is the only thing that makes this worth watching. I'm not sure people come for the Mahjong. Do people come for the Mahjong? I'm
I don't
sorry.
know, man.
It's
Oh,
probably
what is
better
this?
Mahjong
This
out
is
there. I
terrible.
presume the. I know. I'm just dancing around here.
Yeah, you can probably get away with the 9s because the 6s are safe, and then just hang out. This is a tough fold. All right, you got the 6 and the 9 left, but
I'm West though. You know, this isn't the hand to push, is it?
yeah, it's probably not worth it. The 5 is not safe though. It's safe on a cross, but not on.
No. Oh, did they? Oh, no, they threw it after the
No,
breach
right
on the right.
before. They
No.
threw it just before.
Oh, really? Because I thought the North. Oh no, I misread the call. Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
I was
wasn't
like,
safe.
because
But
I
I know it's
remember
safe
when they
now.
threw it, I was like, okay, you have a 5 and it's safe. Oh my god, you just hucking your tiles out there like there's no tomorrow. 7 is safe at
I'm
least, and then the East is even
yeah,
safer.
yeah. I mean, 8 here is safe. 8 is completely safe as well. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, there you go. Look, Kavi Nakahara.
Oh, sneaking it in. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Thank you,
It's
thank
I
you, thank you. Is it Chiral who's queuing? I think for us.
he was willing
Yeah,
to. They were willing
Chiral.
to. I'm sorry, I don't know if they
Yeah,
did.
Chiral. I think is Kavi because it's the one who looks a little bit like Beldophine, but not with
These are
the
your. These
Ehegal.
are your. I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah,
This is a
it's
PG
Beldophine
stream
if she
for
didn't pull
friends.
the silly faces.
Oh, I don't know how you're so familiar with these people. I just.
I have a real curiosity with these women that put themselves into these really strange kind of I don't know what you call it, like they're social media influencers. They've never had those kinds of positions before, right? I like
Mm.
Caroline Calloway for the exact same reason, you
Oh
know.
God, stop with these
Like,
crazies. You only like crazies.
well, she is crazy. She's obviously having like a mental, but people like what's the one I do like?
I know
Oh,
you like
Amaranth.
Amaranth.
She's
She's not
she's
crazy.
obviously not.
No, she's not
She's not
crazy.
crazy. She's not having a breakdown or anything. She's just making money, and she's very businesslike about it. And it's not something
Oh
I'd ever
dear.
do, but I find it interesting.
This player to left is looking a little squirrely.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just kind of aim towards a lazy cheetoy if I can make it.
Cheeto, yeah, that's a good plan. We got what? We got 4 pairs now, so we need 3 more.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw the 9 now and then hold the west as a safe.
Yeah.
I know that it does reduce my speed going forward, but
It does, but against what's going on over there, like, it's probably better
again,
to have a little safety, a little bit of an absolute.
there's no value here again.
Oh, don't say that about Cheetoy.
I mean, you know, if there was a Dora here,
I wouldn't held it 9.
but
There we go. Look at you, 4, 5, 6. Now you could.
well,
Now
but then I put myself into food tank, so I already thrown one 9-man though,
yeah.
and there's another one on the right.
I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like it. Can't throw the chuns.
No, exactly.
Can't throw the
I could throw the
sotiles.
5-man.
Yeah, you could throw the 5-man if you really had to. You could have thrown the 1 actually. That was hard safe, but it's fine. It's safe for later anyway.
Yeah, but the 5 was out. But I want to throw those.
Yeah, no, those are dangerous on everyone. And if we have people who are skillfully
Yeah.
dodging and making wins out from under others, you want to be a little careful with that. Yeah, the Gemma's rant feature is important to schedule at the right time. You got it.
See, I thought that's all you ever came for. I'm surprised that people came for the Mahjong.
Seriously, I should. Okay, that's
Or
actually
Tunny.
a great relief. Also, Ishan 10 on Cheetoy, which is kind of cute, but having the Chun be safe is like a huge relief in my opinion.
Yeah, I can easily reverse out of this. And you know what also is making me nervous is I can't see the door out there at all. I can see three
Yeah.
nines, which makes me think that someone's probably either got a pair or a trip of those Dora.
Yeah, it's it's tough times. Oh my god.
I think I can get away with this for you now.
I think you could.
Yeah, because there's three fives out, right? Looks.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
enough.
I'd be willing to say you can get away with it. And you helped out your friend, who also realized they could get away with a four. Ooh, that Haku was. Three's coming up. Three's fine.
Yeah, I think Howie is probably doing quite well over there, right?
Quite possibly, yeah. I feel like everyone else is having a good time and we're not. Um,
I mean, this eight pin, this eight pin. You would have think because the Potemkin and Kavi has thrown this five pin, it would be safe, but it looks very unsafe to Harway.
it just doesn't seem right. Something about it. Oh dear.
Yes,
Well,
yes, it's east stays.
yeah, that's the end of that. Mm-mm.
No,
I guess
now
if
I'm
you
gonna
draw
play
the
with
other
Red
East,
Dragons.
you can have East be your weight for the Chitoy, but like,
No, we're out now,
no,
man.
it's
We're
time to
out
get out of
now.
here.
We're out. We're
It's time
out.
to get out of here. Oh, that's sad.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh.
whoa.
You know what?
Jeez.
I am so glad that I do not have to be involved in this.
Yeah, wow. Oh! Wow, being forced to throw the South with those tiles out across from you is nuts.
But they'd already thrown the south at least. They had thrown the south. So,
Still. Oh, they don't think. You're right, he throwing the South. Oh.
so they
Oh.
were waiting. So look, they were waiting on the Dora, and Cavi did have two eights, which is I feared that someone had those eights.
But the South. Oh, no. They had to give up on their beautiful dream.
Mm, mm.
Oh.
Hi, Sierra.
I see
Hi.
right. Oh. What a
We
time.
are not we are not playing aggressive mahjong here tonight, Sierra. We are
No,
playing
I have a lot of empathy.
folding mahjong. We're
I
playing
love
folding
everyone.
mahjong.
Well, we had two hands that are worth folding. This hand also seems like, I don't see any value here yet. If we get like a red 5 pin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Siri. I'm probably not. My birthday is actually tomorrow.
Your
So,
birthday's tomorrow?
and my
How do I
birthday's
not know
tomorrow.
that?
I don't know. People don't care about me very much. No, I just don't make a big deal out of it. It's also just
And
weird.
also,
Like,
yeah, and also to be honest, I don't even know what month it is anymore. Like I literally
yeah,
have to
like
check on my phone.
in
I
non-pandemic times, I do a birthday thing, and I invite people. I do a thing, and like now, I
yeah.
just feel weird about it because of just how the world is. So I just haven't said it. I'm not like one of those people who's moping about it. I mean, I'm moping about it because I'm old. We're not moping about it like, oh, no one remembered my birthday on their own. Whatever. But like, I just haven't done anything at all because I'm just
No,
like, the world's just weird.
I I have not celebrated my birthday since I was 21. I'm
Oh,
done.
you should celebrate your birthday. It's good to celebrate a birthday.
So,
How do I have
I
so much
think
hair?
part
What
of the
happened to
problem
me?
I don't know. I think part of the problem was because I was an August birthday, so my birthday was always at the end of the school summer holidays.
So
So,
everyone's more
and
excited to get
everyone
out
was
of school
already
than they are to
like,
celebrate you.
preparing to go back to school, and like they'd forgotten that I existed by then because 8 weeks in young mind time is a long time, right? So I just kind of never really. I
Are we
don't know.
bailing on this?
I think we have to, but it's difficult to bail out of.
Could bail with a 3-man maybe, assuming that 6-man gives you some kind of Suji clearance on it, and then hoping you get the 1 out. But the 8's hard safe.
Yeah.
Okay, fair, fair, fair.
Yeah, and I think I can get with the 7 now.
I still hate the job. The job hunt is never very bueno. The bueno levels.
Oh, I'm honest, yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry that you were released from your contract. Yeah. But geez, I don't know. I'm not sure at Cannes. Maybe because I haven't looked or been employed for a job for a long, long time now. But oh, I sounded like a real rich dick then. No, I'm a freelancer. Like I have to work. I just don't. I'm just not employed by a single human.
Seven is safe
No,
because
no,
of
I'm
long
folding,
Suji. Is
folding,
long
folding.
Suji a thing?
Long suji. I like long suji. I like long suji. I like that terminology, and I'm going to use it. Um,
Every Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I feel that there's more remote jobs available, which might be helpful, she says, questioningly. Oh, I got away with that one, didn't I? You're much happier.
Oh,
That's
happier
the
is good.
important
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Oof.
I don't know. The people I'm talking to are looking for jobs are saying that actually there's some opportunities that are now available because of coronavirus, because people have moved to a more remote working environment.
South. You're south. And south is Adora.
I
Let
know.
me just remind
I
you of
was
these things
whispering to
quickly
myself.
before you.
I know. I was whispering to myself. I was like, "Oh shit! This is the value hand that
Yeah,
you
this
push."
this is the one you got to hit now. This is it. This.
See, that's why you have to
Ah,
wait. You have to wait until the cards come to you. I'm going to
beautiful.
call this one through.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
just
call
call
it
the heck
through.
out of it. Yeah, just do it. This is dumb as
Yeah,
heck.
shoulder suji, kata suji is slightly better than most, but I like long suji better than
Long suji.
shoulder suji as a translation. Actually, I mean, I know shoulder suji is a brutal literal translation, but long suji sounds nice.
Long suji. Yeah, it's good to stay in practice. To keep
What's
up.
this? I'm
You're
supposed to be
gonna
on
pong it. You could
stream on the
pong it and
first to
then
teach a
only.
Twitch partner Mahjong. Ooh,
I might have ponged it.
that's good.
Oh no, here we go. Now you're good.
No, I don't. I didn't really think that because then you've got a problem with the 2-3 then as well, haven't you?
Well, you would have been in the
You
final.
pong.
I would have ponged the ones and then thrown the two to be in the state where it's a three
Uh,
five, so I could then upgrade if I got the six like you just did anyway.
mm,
Because the ones are dead at
okay,
that point, so I might as well just wait on the four. But it's all right. You won. It's fine. It's over.
that's a
Just
good point. Actually, I didn't see it because I probably wouldn't have done that because you were smart and I am dumb.
I don't know. I mean, that's a statistically aggressive move, but it opens my
Mhm.
hand more and reveals more. So maybe there's also
Yeah,
some wisdom
I
in
think
maybe
in my
not.
mind I was thinking, well, if I pawned the 3, so if that came out,
Mm. Ooh, this is another hand you can
um,
just pong and run with that east.
yeah. So I guess just release some of this valueless shrapnel first.
Probably. I don't think this is the magic time for Honroto. For you. I never think it's a time for you.
I
Honroto
was
is
getting
enough.
Honroto the other day, and I was
Ah,
thinking about you.
ah, ah. You have to donate the proceeds of your Honroto to me.
I'm not going to call it straight away.
Spreadsheet. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to try
What
to
am I
be.
going to do here, though? I'm going to try to be sneaky, aren't I?
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with shoulder suji is, when people say they work
Like
80% of the
it.
time, I think the problem is, I'm going to take the last one. I think part of the problem is that people don't read when it's a good time to use long suji or shoulder suji. And this is the
Hmm.
problem with all suji, even the regular
Uh-oh.
suji. People learn that rule, but they don't actually learn first how to read if that's a good rule to apply in that situation. Am I making sense?
Yeah, your stream's cutting in and out, though, which is not so
Uh,
awesome.
oh, really, is it?
Yeah, you have this
Is
five-man
it
hangout. You just got rid of the six.
Is it just my
So.
Twitch stream or is
It's the
it
Twitch
me?
stream. It's not you. It's just the Twitch stream, which seemed to have a little bit of a problem. We'll
Uh,
see. Maybe it'll stay.
there was a little lag then a second ago, so I don't know if
Yeah, let's
it's.
see. Let's see what happens. I like this 5-6 man thing you have going on is good, and the problem is that 9 man just floating in the corner. Like
Hmm.
if it's
I
first
am
throw
going to
and
be
low set
brave.
Suji against early. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, exactly, Mash. Back. I think that's yeah, one of the kind of yeah. I mean, Suji become less relevant the further
The
in
further
you
in you
get.
get.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, there's definitely, and that's the thing that I'd like people. When I try to teach people, which is poorly, so don't have me as a tutor. Um, I think one of the things I do try to impress upon people is there's very different ways to read the first phase. You can divide into 3 phases, right, along with the rows of discards, and there's a very different way to look at the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase, and what these discards mean. I don't want to get pushed off, so I'm going to play really aggressive.
All right, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna throw the door into the reach, and it worked.
Yeah, I think they've probably got a more regular. Looking at this, I think they've probably got a more regular progression, and they're
Hmm.
not doing a sketchy wait on that 9. They're probably waiting on a pin somewhere. Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah, it looks like they trimmed honors. They trimmed some edge stuff.
Yeah.
The sushi last showed assert dominance. I don't know. Asserting dominance can be a tough.
So I did get it wrong. I did get it wrong. But yeah, they're not waiting for a regular Pinfu show.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, they got
So
Riichi.
I play Harway like not infrequently, because he's a good player. Harway, I warn you, good player.
But you are safe and a very short way out of first place. You're what, 1,400 behind? So like any sumo, basically.
Avcarnus is raising the quarters method. So if when I'm teaching people in real life, and I didn't used to I have little you have chips in like the mahjong sets a lot of the time, right? But because we were playing at packs and there were no chips, and like I kept getting these quarters, and coins don't seem to have any value in America, despite there being a lot of them.
Do not
like they only want paper, right? Exactly. So then I was using the quarters to like mark discards that I thought were weird that I wanted to discard once we finished the hand. So if people talk to you about Gemma's quarter method,
She wants you hung, drawn, and quartered.
What kind of game is this? Oh God, I can't see.
It says East 4, but I can't tell whether it's a full or not.
It's quick. Sorry.
Okay,
quick.
So this is it.
This is it.
Ah! Wow.
This is not a good hand to open up for.
No, I mean
you could just hand to open up.
A Tanya Onomi will not be good enough for you, I don't think, unless you can get a Dora in there. That's not Tanya Onomi, is it?
Tanya Onomi direct from Potemkin would work.
Of course, I will note that poor Howe just drew and discarded 3 Hatsas in a row. That is a sad time for Howe.
Dave does have a lot of empathy today, doesn't he? He does have a lot of empathy.
That is a sad time for Howe to draw and immediately discard 3 Hatsas. I'm sorry, Howe.
I know. I'm not always right. I am not always right. But yeah, but that's the thing. Like sometimes though, like even the fact that someone would react like that to your Dora discard, your 4-pin Dora discard, like what the fuck? That kind of tells you something as well. That if you do that, you've got to be prepared that everyone is now looking at you. And watching you and trying to play safe to you. Yeah, because you've drawn attention to yourself. Eyes on you, yes.
Oh my God.
Is it eyes on you?
I think it's eyes on me, or is it eyes on me, or eyes on you? There's something.
Yeah, I think it's eyes on me, right?
Eyes on me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't done yet either. I haven't downloaded the
Final newer, better Final Fantasy VII shenanigans.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII remake of a remake.
Double remake. This is a rough hand because you're actually now close to something valuable. And how do we trim it? You want to? Okay, that's fair. And now with like a single call, you can get Tanya Dora 2 and win. All right, here we go. Tanya Dora 2, Tenpai. So now you're in the position to get first place no matter who you win that off of.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this if...
But there's not a lot of man-tiles coming out. Oh, no. Sorry, Potemkin. As I said,
oh no,
Potemkin. Then sorry. I know you're a little delayed, but yeah, I'm sorry, Potemkin.
All right, well, hey, that's the sneaky win you needed, and it leaves Potemkin in second place. So you weren't even that mean. You weren't even that mean about it. Look at your rank going up.
I know, slowly. Well, 90 points. It's a long way, isn't it?
I just always find it, as part of my empathy toward 2021. It's always sad when it's like, oh, I'm in first place and I want to just finish this game off, so I'll try to win, and you deal into like Yakuman, and it's like, okay, well,
yeah.
all of that was for naught, as opposed to like, oh no, second place snuck past me. Now I'm second place. It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that either. Like, I'm sure they were going for something, they're probably going for something fast and.
Yeah.
It was obviously.
It's the luck of it
thanks,
all, yeah,
thanks, Hidden Away. Thank you. Good game too. Flashback from WRC 27. Gosh, do you know what? I can't believe it's going to be.
Coming up in 5 years.
5 years. 5 years for the next WRC. I swear I swore blind that we'd hold it this year. It's kind of sad. Like I don't have like those happy memories. Like we all made memories of 2017. Well. We say happy. Dave's like, whoa.
Yeah, oh my God, definitely memories. Memories were definitely forcibly impressed upon me such that they will never go away.
I was laughing. I was like, 2017, we had this massive gun massacre to deal with.
Oh yeah, there
And
was
then,
that
and
too.
then 2020, a literal global pandemic.
It's
Like, I don't
just
think I should be
only
allowed
good
to run
times.
events.
Only good times for WRC.
Obviously, the global pandemic was, and, these are tiny, tiny things compared to these terrible losses of these actual. But yeah, it's sad though, because you do people like the thing is, I know you and I did not make great memories in 2017. There was one time when Dave came in and he was only a few minutes late from that morning, but I was obviously in a massive rage for some reason, and I just started shouting at him. And then these two gentlemen who were the referees, and they're not small lads, right? They're big lads, and they were like, but they were trying to make themselves as small as possible. They were like, because Dave was at the door and I was near the door, and we were kind of blocking a smooth escape, right? I just have images in the corner of my eyes, like trying to like hide under the table and make themselves as least noticeable as
God,
possible.
I'm glad that as people we laugh about this now. I feel like it's part. A lot of people come out of stressful situations like that just hating each other, and I don't feel that way at all. But I'm glad that that's.
No. Well, it's the thing, like, yeah, and I think maybe sometimes with people who are running these events, it's that we are friends, but there's a professional level as well. Like we can
Yeah,
have those
yeah.
professional disagreements and those conflicts, and recognize that
I
that doesn't typify our relationship.
the biggest thing that I think, if I had to speak philosophically about it, is people don't understand what management means. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
imagine that when they run an event like this, they're gonna get a lot of things that you don't get out of running something.
yeah,
Um, and you know that
it's
they're gonna
not happy.
themselves have an awesome time because you won't if you're running the event. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how like you are going to have a stressful time running the event. It's just hard. And
Yeah.
like that they're going to be beloved by everyone, and like that's rare. That's rare.
It's just I can tell you now, all it is complaints about the food. It's just
Yeah,
complaints about the
yeah.
food
People complain about
constantly.
everything to you. They don't look at you and say no one, not no one. Again, I don't want to sound ungrateful or angry about it.
Oh
Like
no, there's
people
there's
people
lots of people who've said thank you and
it happens
recognized, but
much later. During the event
yeah,
is not happening. During the event, no one's walking up to you and saying thank you so much for this event. Pretty much, it's after the event. Sometimes some people will say
yeah.
like thank you, I had a great time, and that feels really good. That's a great feeling.
And the problem
But
is the
like,
people who are having a great time are too busy enjoying
yeah,
themselves to come and tell you they're having a
yeah.
great time. They're like, I'm having a great time. I don't have to talk to those idiots.
The only people walking up to you during the event are people who have a problem.
Yeah,
And so that's again that just doesn't feel good. Obviously, it's your job. You've signed up to help them out, and some people are very nice about their problems, and some people are not so nice about their problems. But like, regardless, you feel assaulted by people's problems and negative
mm,
things that happen. Even if they're not your fault, any bad thing that happens comes right to you, and good things, as Gemma said, good things that happen, people are out there having fun, and they're not telling you about it. So like,
yeah.
it's very easy to get this very negative feeling of what happened and feel like it was terrible, and like afterwards, yeah, it's you don't magically become a
Oh no,
hero.
yeah.
Like it's not how it
It's still,
works.
I mean, afterwards, when I've heard about other people's recollections of the event, which is so different to mine,
Yeah.
obviously, like the other hilarious incident was when Megadeth started their like
Oh,
practice underneath the
Jesus
hall.
Christ.
There's a
Fucking
sudden
Megadeth.
rumbling, and I'm like, I don't. Dave was like the opposite side of the hall. Like
I
he
know.
was
It's
in
just
he was
like
in the other room, and I
shut up.
called over to the referee, and I'm like, go get Dave, just find Dave, bring him to me now. And like Dave doesn't even come to me; he just walks into the hall. All I
Well, I don't
can
want to
see
make
is
a
him
big
going,
disruption.
oh.
I don't want to go running through the hall making a disruption. But as soon as I open the door, I see what's going. I can hear and feel what's going on. I'm just like,
I was like, Dave knows now. It's happening. Anyway, so like,
yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, but then everyone else tells me about their recollections and what they were doing, and they're all having a jolly good time. And I'm like, oh, okay, then that does
it's
give me a
true.
warm feeling. But yeah, Zaps, yeah, tell it to an organizer, even if it's afterwards. Like
Yeah, make sure
it's
make sure to
it's
just say like, hey, that was fun. I had a
yeah,
good time,
yeah,
and
and
it can
even
make
if it
someone feel
didn't.
a lot better.
Yeah, or just tell them about the thing that you enjoyed, whether that was like hanging out with your friends. I mean, to be honest, I find Mahjong players, compared to some events I've organized, Mahjong players are actually quite easy. Like, if you have a
Yeah, yeah,
room
yeah,
and you throw
yeah.
Mahjong tiles in there, they do tend to occupy themselves quite well.
But the other
Like,
the other important thing is even without humans, right? Even without any
Mm,
humans, my work as an organizer is to fix the problems, and so the only thing I'm doing
yeah,
throughout the entire event is finding problems, looking at problems, fixing problems as much as I can. So like even if no one said anything to me, even if it was completely dead silent, um You're really mad about that jump. Even if that's fine, like I still like what has been my own experience. My own experience has been like finding every problem and focusing on every problem and every imperfection to try to fix it as best I can. So like the perspective I've set up for myself has been a very negative one, because when I remember what did I do during the event, it's a litany of all the things that weren't quite right, or all the problems, or all of my horrible failings, instead of like good times, which I wasn't having because I was too busy fixing things. So like there's just a lot you have to like. There's an attitude you have to bring to it to be able to feel good about the things you do afterwards, and it's hard sometimes to find it. So yeah, be nice to your organizers. Say something nice to them, because it's for people especially who don't organize things or run things very often. It can be a little bit like it can be a little disheartening to not come out with the feeling you thought you were going to get. Even if you really did make a great time for everyone, and even if everyone really did appreciate you. We're talking about organizing events and like how it doesn't always feel so great. Even if you did a good job, and even if the people there really appreciated it. And how you can, little tips and tricks for how you can make sure you remember that you did a good job.
Yeah, and
if no one died and no one got sick, you did a good job.
Abcarnus remembers an incident that I'm not going to relate, because there's someone else involved. I'm not sure if I should talk, but that was my fault, and it wasn't a good look on me, and I apologize to that person. And the problem with that was that it was no longer about the professional aspect. That was definitely an argument between two friends, and that got those are more difficult to step away from, right? Because friendships have a lot of expectations on.
Much more.
Yeah. And I was tired. I have reasons for why I went off like that, but I was exhausted, because it was like because it was the gun incident was
it was like 2 days before.
The day before, right? Well, it wasn't even quite. It was that night. It was the evening of, right? Because we had one day after the gun incident, and then we were straight into the event, right?
I thought we had 2 days. We might have only had one day. I don't remember exactly.
Because it happened really late at night.
Because I remember just got destroyed.
Yeah.
It happened as I landed that evening.
Yeah, because I was woken up by, not it happening obviously, but by people trying to contact me.
Is that cute?
But yeah, it was like wading through mud after that. Like nothing, because you're dealing with people, like the people we were working with had people they knew had been involved, and
I can't see the ways that I probably. Gemma, did your queue pop?
No,
because your UI.
I don't think so. Did it? Oh, it did. Shit, sorry. I usually it makes a sound, but I didn't.
It did
hear
make a sound. I heard the sound.
Oh, you did? Okay. I didn't hear the sound, because obviously it picks up better on the mic than on my headphones.
Chocobo Breeder Potemkin is huge.
But yeah, like it was like wading through mud, and you couldn't shout at people because...
No. Everyone's just in shock. It was...
Yeah.
There were so many things that were really like the worst thing that could have happened around that event. And I'm in retrospect, I'm very proud of the fact that it went off as well as it did, given the surroundings. Like...
Yeah. I'm amazed that we even pulled it off, because I do remember sitting there
a little bit.
Like, are we cancelling? Is this it? Are we not going ahead?
I was just like, no, we're not cancelling nothing.
Because the Japanese were on the phone going, should we come? Is it safe? Is it happening? And I'm like, I don't know anymore. Because it was right at the airport as well, right? Because it was at the. It was on
the Strip, and we weren't on the Strip.
Yeah, but some of the people had run onto the airport to flee the incident.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked
Yeah,
at all.
so it's really close, right? And I was like, my God, what if? Because you're just getting these drabs information. Like, what if they shut the airport down because of this? We don't know what the crime scene looks like.
Well, we had some of your folks in town early, right? When we didn't know where they were.
Yeah, no, I spent time and I was trying to chase people out. I think I only lost one in the basement of Caesars.
By lost, we mean did not know where they were. Everyone was safe and healthy and survived.
But everyone was safe. I was safe, but they couldn't get there. They couldn't. There's no cell reception.
Yeah,
right?
they couldn't get in contact.
Yeah,
so they were obviously very nervous.
And the staff at Caesars had moved everyone down into the basement quite sensibly. I'm sure that these hotels they have.
I'm sure they have procedures,
and they know what to do.
They have procedures in case of anything dangerous happening.
Yeah,
but they did cut their cell reception. So.
Yeah, in that respect,
oh my God, that was so the worst.
Shit, we don't want to do again.
Yeah, like I really would never want to do that again. That was just bad. I don't. Yeah,
to be honest, all the other problems really paled in comparison.
Yeah, everything it was all downhill from there. Yeah, there were some good moments of just getting things going. I agree. Like there were some times. It's funny because when you have big
Oh,
problems like
yeah.
that are outside your control, when you can get something back in your control, we're gonna do like a thing. It feels good. It feels good to
Oh
still
yeah, and
like.
I've honestly, you're right. Like you and the guys who are there sorting out the strike bags. And actually,
Yeah.
I know like when and the registration table, which
Yes.
was not involved in the organization of at all, but it just happened.
Yes. No, I'm
Like,
incredibly
and
thankful to the
people
folks who
said that,
just pitched in
yeah,
when
people were
needed.
like, oh, but we could have done this and this better. I'm like, dudes, you managed to pull it together with a few hours notice and
Yeah.
helped us out massively as me and Dave were trying to push everything else
Oh, because they
together.
took down our sign. It
Yeah.
was a whole. They said we were gonna have a big sign, and then they like the day before the construction truck comes in and just pulls the sign down off the wall, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
And we couldn't open the registration desk either because they had scaffolding all over it.
And then they tore down the check-in. Like the third. I don't know. They decided to be. This is everything. The dumbest things happened, and so I have nonstop, constant, super appreciation for the people who pitched in and helped out when things were going just crazily, and somehow this all still looks good on video. If you have the video from Mondo.
Do you know what's funny? Like, Kuroki came up to us at the very, very end and he was like, well done. I've tried to do these things before. It's the literal worst. Thank you. And I was like, coming from you, Kuroki, like, I was thinking you were going to come up to me and be like, okay, well, we need to have a postmortem because, you guys have got problems. And he was just like, I've seen it all before.
This is why I forgive him. I forgive him for his poor wingmanliness. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, it was a small one, so not
it's Riichi.
too. I feel like we're almost in the exact same
Too busy
configuration.
laughing
Just
about stuff here. So we are
don't
actually
have
in-
Belle Delphine.
No. Jamie does have a lot. I actually have to get in touch with Jamie. I have to see what we're doing about all this.
Oh,
footage.
Jamie has some awful, 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 awful moments of me on camera.
Oh,
I'm
I
a
thought you were talking
little.
about me pacing.
No. He's got you pacing. Oh, I did ask him if he could do me a special video of you pacing.
Supercut of Dave pacing. With Dave paces.
No, he's got some really embarrassing footage of me. Everyone else is going to come out much, much better than me. I am. I'm a little ashamed of myself sometimes.
Aww. Look, it's
Well,
tough
at least you know that I don't act up for the camera. It's just me being a.
It is. That's the other thing. Like everyone else's emotions or highs are going through the competition too. Like, and people care about this stuff, and they're doing well, or they're doing poorly. And it's just a hugely emotional time for everyone. And like, part of me, I won't lie. Don't. I'm only admitting this on stream to the entire world, so don't quote me on this. Part of me, after finishing all of this, just immediately thought like, just took all the frustration I had with all the things that didn't work, and I was like, again, but better. Like, it was just like, I know that if right now we were like, we're doing this again, I've identified all the weak points in what I've done, all of my failings with what I did, and if we did it again, we could do it, like, so much better. I don't know if I'd actually want to do it again, but better. But, like, at the same time, it's like, in a way, if I was somehow forced into taking another shot at it, I know that I could do a better job next time, and there's that feeling
Yeah, I'm
of, like,
not sure you should say that to me because you'll end up doing it again.
I know, that's why I'm... Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, Dave's helping out with Vienna, so we haven't.
A little
We
bit.
haven't.
I'm just
And that's
buying
the
a
thing as
castle,
well.
that's all.
But this has been the problem, honestly, of a lot of these big event organizations is the people who do them. Either a lot of the time because it's EMA, the EMA events, it moves from country to country, right, every 3 to 4 years.
As Carl would say.
And there's none of the team is maintained between events. Yeah. And with WRC 2014, the two Tomar brothers who really organized that very well. Like Dave thinks he had, but the Tomar brothers built the brand from nothing, basically.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I have nothing bad to say about them. Like they had a very difficult job, and they organized a solid event that went. I was a participant in that event, and I felt like it went well, and it must have been very challenging for them.
It went insanely well, considering we had no idea what we were doing half the time, and I wasn't the president in them. I was still just like kind of a mediator between Japan and them because there was no kind of steering group.
Honestly, I feel like the biggest screw up they had were the canapes.
No, that was a screw up because we're screw ups. Like
I screwed up tons of stuff.
They served up amazing French food, and unfortunately, we're all heathens.
That's a kind way to put it.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's not just writing up. Like, I think there's only so much you can convey. I think actually having the real experience, which is why I haven't wanted to lose Dave's experience, and having me coming over multiple events
Everyone
now
wants
is
to
helpful.
lose the Dave experience.
Because sometimes you can't have that. You can't.
It's reach door.
You can perceive something going wrong before it's gone wrong. Sometimes, right? The more experience you have.
True.
And that's to be able to have people who, and this is why the Guildford lot in the UK who organise basically the yearly big UK event, they do a really good job
because they've just done it. They've done it. They know exactly how it has to go together.
Yeah.
They know all the things that might not be right. Yeah, I mean, there's so much. That's why I felt so. That's why I felt that way afterwards. Where I was like, now that I've seen all these problems, if you gave this to me again, I could at least avoid this batch of problems. Maybe I'll find a new batch of problems.
Oh yeah, there's always a new batch of problems. That's the thing. I always just want to make different problems. As long as I'm making different new problems I haven't made before.
As different problems are happening. Foodie, thank you very much, because let me tell you something. I had to go to bat for that food so hard. I threw such a tantrum over the food cost. I literally was on the phone saying, I will walk from your venue and I will publish an article about it if you try to fuck me on this food. I swear to God.
You did go full New York on us. It was amazing.
Really upset about the food. Because they tried to play some games with what we got and what we were charged. I was so livid.
We got a lot of complaints about the WRC 2017 food as well.
We did?
Yeah, I don't know what they expect. I'm like, it's catering food, right? It's catering food. It's...
Wait, people complain about 2017? Hold on. Who? I will kill them.
You can guess.
That is not a legitimate threat.
You can guess the names.
Oh, well, some people are never happy.
Exactly. That's the problem. Like, some of it you have to just be like, oh, well, you know what? Like... Everyone has really different, especially when you've got different cultures together. Like
pairs, we got South, we got West, we got Hakka. This is good.
Like all of the different cultures together in the end. And the problem is, as soon as you've got, should I just call it now? Probably.
Maybe just pong this out.
Yeah.
Pong this out, man.
As soon as you've got different cultures together, like they've all got different expectations, and it's just impossible to make anyone happy.
It's true, but I feel like we covered all the bases with the food. I feel like we made it all right. We had enough for everyone, which was great. People felt like they could eat as much as they wanted, which I think is a good vibe. I don't know. I felt good about the food. I'm sure. I remember we had some issue where there was like a potential someone wasn't feeling well, and we were worried. So
quite a few people got unwell, and I never really got to the bottom of it. I did tell them that they needed to report it to the hotel. I think in the end people decided it wasn't food poisoning, but it was. People get sick at these, these big events.
It might just be like stress and being in a different environment. You go out of country into a different place with different everything, and it can be tough.
Yeah, and Las Vegas is hot, it's dry, and then you're going from the hot, dry to the air conditioning over and over and over again. And
you don't feel it, but that's really actually stressful on your body.
And then also,
it's weekly again now that I'm back from the woods, EMP.
Yeah, and then of course as well, people are all meeting and bringing their new germs and creating mahjong variants.
You got Theodora here. I like this.
Yeah. I'm honest. I will take you up on that offer for staff work. I don't have an event at the moment to help you staff, but once we can establish that there is where everything. I mean, still hoping to hold it in Vienna. I don't think there's any problems with that. It's just
13-sided cookie. Oh God.
And we just need to kind of, batten. We have hammered out the details so many times on this WRC 2020 event. We just need to make sure we hammer them out again before I start promising people things.
In my heart, I kind of want to do one again. I can't lie. I kind of want to do one again, just because I miss having a big event to focus on and to really, really plan for. I don't miss many of the things that go with it, but I do. I deep down, I will admit, I really like the feeling. Now that I'm used to what it is, I like the feeling of having done the event and having everyone have had a pretty good time. Like having actually built this thing that everyone came to and was good. And you're right, it's really stressful. It can be really awful in some ways. But
Stockholm.
I don't know.
I mean, I like the progress. I look at 2014 and I'm like, wow. I mean, that was a seminal event. Groundbreaking. And 2017 was a massive improvement upon that again. And then 2020.
We haven't had the chance to show off our improvements in 2020 yet. But we will. The next event will be better. Every time will be better. Is the idea.
And it's not just the event itself, but the rules are sharper. There's an improved relationship between us and Japan. We're expanding in that front. And then, and I like to see other people networking. Like, that's something people have said to me, why don't you just do it online? Just do the 2021 online and then go for 2023. I just don't think at any point you're going to get the right experience. Like, I like seeing people networking with the Japanese professionals and making their own relationships with them. That's not through me or WRC, something that, they can interact with them on Twitter, or maybe they're messaging them or whatever else. There's no other way I can give them that. Unless it's
there's something really special about just sitting down together.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's something you really can't get anywhere else.
So I would
it's been a long pandemic. It's been a long pandemic. It's kind of just sucked. I need to go to the UK too. Actually, that's my next objective.
I know. I'd love you to come here, but you can't come here still. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, it'll be like a week before Boris is like, okay, I guess you can come here.
I don't think so, mate.
I don't know, man.
I would love to. Oh,
that's what I got sent. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Well, on Monday, we're being told that we're staying in lockdown for another 4 weeks. I mean, the current version of lockdown is not too bad for me, to be honest. Like, I'm cool with it because I don't have more than 5 friends anyway, so I don't have to worry about meeting more people. No, I think that this.
Why can't I get this image?
I don't know. I mean, it depends, I guess, when they decide that they are going to
there we go. Okay.
Dispense with things like green and red and amber lists or whatever it is for travel.
Wait, what is that? What are those? Lists?
So,
lists?
Yeah, so you can't come in. So if you come in on the green list, if you're a country on the green list, you have to test 3 or 4 times or some nonsense, right?
Oh, wow.
If you're on the amber list, you have to self-isolate for 10 to 14 days. And if you're on the red list, you have to isolate in the government's isolation quarters.
Oh, like you have to go to food jail.
Mm-hmm. But
I food jail. I did food jail, but I'm going to do food jail for 2 weeks. Ooh.
And you're not going to want to do food jail in the UK, okay?
Oh, it's just fish and then on one day and then chips on another day?
It's just going to be cheese sandwiches constantly.
It's fish.
Yeah.
It's fish day. Oh no, it's chips day.
I would not recommend. But I think because there's so few countries on the green list now. I don't even know what they are. I think
it's broiled cod week.
No, it'll be like
one broiled cod.
Yeah, chip butty, black pudding, spotted dick. It'll be all the stuff that makes the foreigners laugh and makes them wonder what we put in our food.
Beans on toast isn't that bad. I like beans on toast.
Oh, I love beans on toast, man. I might have that for dinner tonight.
I use the chips to scoop up the guacamole, right? That's what you do with chips.
Guacamole. You'd be lucky to get guacamole in this.
We got some hot toy here. Look at this toy hand you got.
I know, right?
Yeah,
and they're crappy overpriced hotels. They're like using the Premier Inn, like the really shitty hotels, but they're charging you like £2,000 for the.
I should just go back to Taiwan. I should just be done with this country.
Well,
this country's getting a lot better.
I was about to say Taiwan is in a bit of a shit at the moment. So.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a breakout, which sucks. Everywhere I go just sucks. Apparently, I go there and then
I am believing in Suanko. I'm believing.
It could be Suanko. It could be Suanko. It could be. I have some faith in the potential of this. This is a really nice looking hand, though. I'm excited about this. Dave's all confirmed. It's true. Every time I go somewhere, when I leave, only bad things happen to that place in my wake. It's not good. Again, like I visited Japan when I was young, and then like the tree burned down and the opera house burned down, and everything got burned down. It was terrible.
Can you not visit the UK then? Because I do not need anything more
I got to
on
talk
fire
about
right now.
Tintagel the other day because someone was talking about King Arthur.
Oh, right. Well, then, yeah, do you know what? I should take... Because they went to the Eden Project. G7, they took them to the Eden Project. Yeah. And I feel a bit upset that I didn't take you guys to the Eden Project now when you came to visit.
I hate that guy over there.
Okay. Lots of people like him. I hate... no, don't start me on Tintagel. That's another rant. I've had my rant for today. Next week we'll do that rant. What's happened to Vienna? Vienna we've had to postpone for
I went to Vienna and then we
still
had a terrible pandemic. Would we have gone Flushing?
Vienna's moving to next year by now, just for your information. We will be showing, hopefully August next year, but we are hammering out the details. And I don't want to announce incorrect information because that's confusing.
You're right, it's getting flushy and that makes me a little sad.
Yeah, but I do have a lot of 8s. Hopefully we'll be waiting on those and I'll screw them up with that.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, no, we will still have WRC 2020, but in 2022.
In 2020 years from now. That's when WRC. It's WRC 2020 years from now. That's how you measure.
I think I've got to reach this, right?
Oh, probably yeah.
Got to wait for the San ankle.
Yeah, that's a bit of a dream killer, but
I could hit some Uradora.
Could hit some sick reverse. Yeah, you got a red 5 in there. Could be Reach Sumo Sananko Dora 1, which is already like manga, which is nice if you draw it yourself.
Yeah, an East direct hit with his reach stick as well. I should be alright to get second place.
Oh dear. Wait. Oh wow, E-Pods. You're ahead of us.
I know. Ah,
Wow.
and there you go. That's how
That
everyone
is
hates
jeez. Sure. Just Baimon Sumo your way to winning everything. Because you're
glad
rude.
I reached that. That is rude.
That is
really
rude.
rude.
That is rude.
That is-
And you get your
that's
Kiwami points. Your Kiwami bucks.
Kiwami bucks.
Have you bought any Google weapons yet?
The fourth one will not be WRC 2023. No, I can't. No, there's just no way. 2023 is going to have to happen another year.
believe you
That's
did
not
that.
2023.
Can't
That
believe
was
you did that. That was sick. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
poor Howie. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
not sure that
Dave's
he
empathy
passed
tour
him.
continues with his sadness for Hawaii.
But yeah, no, 2023 is not possible, and I'm not even sure we're going to hold it now. Like we did have plans. We did start to kind of, flirt with people to try and convince them to hold 2023, but
Well, we
do you know
want to
what?
do that
Like,
in Japan, right?
don't know, man.
Well, here's my pitch for that. Why don't we use some
Yeah.
of your unused Olympic facilities? You got to make money back off that stuff somehow, right?
Dark, man, dark. No, because they're building casinos in it, aren't they? So yeah, no.
In the Olympic
Oh, mind you.
stadiums?
Yeah, do you know what? Oh, God, I'm really good. So wait a minute. So they have the Olympics this year, and then they're going to have the Expo is 2024.
Gosh, I got the Olympics after all. The classic dream has come true.
Yeah, and like the Olympics, because it's supposed to be Tokyo, right? But a lot of it is not in Tokyo because they discovered that the temperature at that time of year is not really appropriate to be in Tokyo for a lot of the athletes. Like that's going to be grueling for those people. So a lot of the facilities are no longer in Tokyo, despite it being Tokyo 2020.
I don't blame them. Like it's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm sure people know my feelings about
That's a cute-
Mahjong and the Olympics. I don't need to share them again.
Oh, you do. No, I
No,
know.
no, we'll save those rants for another.
Save
You gotta, yeah, just trigger me and I'll start ranting. And the Olympics is a mess as well at the moment. Absolute mess.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But yeah, anyway, so they've got the Olympics and then they've got the Expo. Some of those facilities being reused for the Expo. And you've got to remember, some of the facilities that they're using for the Olympics, they actually built for the rugby that they held and did a very good job with. So, I mean, a lot of these facilities are being reused. The thing that hopefully they will kind of adopt now, because if you are a Japan watcher, they don't really have any kind of conference style, international conference level halls, like a messe or anything like that. So they don't really hold many expos or conventions, international global conventions. People who do them tend to go to Singapore, right? Places with casinos, because they tend to have huge amounts of space to have these events. So I think the hope is that after the Olympics and moving towards getting these casinos, they are now going to, I think Tokyo Big Sight is the biggest convention center in Japan, but it's really, really very small on international standards. And that's always been the problem with holding a WRC in Japan or Tokyo, is that there's just no space. There's no space where you can legitimately hire to accommodate that number of people. At one point for 2017, I think we did discuss it, but we were looking at a situation where we'd have to run the event over multiple mahjong parlors and having to move people between mahjong parlors across Tokyo.
Oh my God, that sounds terrifying. That sounds.
And
like
I
the
was like,
worst.
how many foreigners can we lose? Yeah. There's some parts of Japan are not as awful in summer. Like if you're in a city, it's always worse because the concrete reflects the heat back at you, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 Dora and it's East only, so I am going to reach. Plus, it's my favorite tile. Free pin is my favorite tile. Yeah, so we did. I have discussed it multiple times, but
Dora.
it's just. Yeah, right. It's 3 Dora.
It's not Dora.
I have kind of flirted with the idea of Japan, but it's difficult to, and the spaces that they do have are so phenomenally expensive to hire compared to, Austria, for example. The space is not cheap, but it's more affordable.
Yeah, it's really tricky. I don't know, man.
And of course, if we hold it, and another reason for choosing Austria was that it's less of a financial obstacle to a lot of players. We'd hold it in Paris, which is already a financial obstacle. Holding it in Vegas was a huge financial. Holding it in Tokyo would be even worse financial obstacle for a lot of people to attend.
And that's a big challenge, right? 'Cause I actually looked way back for 2017. I'd looked in New York. And I looked at booking. I don't know if I can reveal some of these secrets now so far after the event, because it's not secrets per se, but I looked at booking Carnegie Hall.
Now.
And booking Carnegie Hall was something we could have done in terms of they would have allowed us to hold this event there, but the hotel, the cost was so expensive. It was so insane. And that was the cost of the venue, in addition to everything else. There was no way to reconcile the cost, which was unfortunate. It was a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, and then you've got to think about your players. Sorry, I simmered. I'm in the future. And then you've got to think about your players who are having to get hotels. Like New York is not a cheap place to get a hotel.
No.
Nice.
It didn't used to be. Wow, that's a good flip.
Yeah, and you know what? The coronavirus pandemic is going to give me an opportunity to review everything, because I think the world will be quite different. But yeah, and that was the thing. I think Zaps is here, and we were talking about holding 2020, in London.
Even more Dora.
But it just came to the point where, I'm like, well, if we hold it in London, we're going to have a significant number of our player base who just aren't going to be able to attend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sound elitist here, but maybe. I mean, it's just a difficult thing to manage.
It's a difficult balance.
It is. It's a difficult balance. Obviously, on the one hand, things cost money, right? If you want to hold an event in a venue and you want to rent it out and you want to have the space and you want to do the things, that costs money. There's no avoiding that. And if you want the event to be prestigious and be in a nice space and be in a fancy place with nice things, that costs more money. That's how life is, and it's not about whether I want it to be that way or not. But Gemma's very right. It sucks to have to be well, you know what bothered me? The only thing that ever bothered me about all of this, and I'm gonna more secrets of WRC coming out. The only thing that ever bothers me about any of this is when people imagine that any profit whatsoever occurred. There's lots of difficulties in balancing how these events work and how much things cost. It can be very challenging, and there's lots of choices to be made and trade-offs. But at the end of the day, there is not a profit. A profit, no one is getting rich off of these events.
It's only huge. None of my work is paid for. I pay for all of my. I think I traveled to Japan multiple times to organize these events.
Yeah.
I traveled to the venue itself. I traveled to Vegas twice. Right. It all comes out of my pocket.
Yeah, I didn't even try. Oh no. Oh wow, that's a half flush door none. That's just a half flush. Okay, not so bad. Yeah. But yeah, just please recognize that people organizing the events are generally not profiting from them. Maybe someone's being sneaky somewhere, but overall, there's no one's shoveling money into their pocket. And if things cost a lot, it's because things just cost a lot, and that sucks. And no one likes
and probably. This. And you are going. I don't know an event yet where people are not being subsidized in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and that's tough because again, some players come from places where can they shell out for a ticket to New York and a week in a $300 a night Manhattan hotel? No, that's a lot of money. I wouldn't want to shell out for that, and I'm fortunately fairly well off. I would not want to do that. And so I mean, but you have to try to find ways to balance those things.
Yeah, I mean, this was the kind of hope with Austria, that we could give ourselves an event and then maybe we can start, we haven't always been great at securing sponsorship, partly because it's a young event, right?
It's difficult.
And it's very niche. I was kind of hoping that, if we can buy ourselves 3 more years, we might be able to secure some more. Because there are, I do have leads. There's things there's things in the oven, but it takes time, to build those relationships. to kind of secure the kind of
Pinku
funding.
Tanya. Three-sided
Do you
weight.
know what? Things might be different now as well with the Olympics, because now there are cheap hotels in Tokyo. They didn't used to be. Now that we've got these cheap hotel brands like the Appa, you have to ignore the fact that the owners are absolutely insane and slightly anti-Semitic.
I've stayed at Appas.
But if you can
I have
overlook
no
that,
problem with them. No one's ever been anti-Semitic towards myself at an Appa. But like, yeah, there are more options.
The anti-Semitism, I think, is a little bit. I'll be fair to them. I think
Probably
it's
in
a little
the
bit
book,
more.
like in the
It's
actual
ignorance.
staff. Yeah.
No,
there's a lot of ignorance.
it was. They were like, they're the kind of people who like, oh, but the Jews are really successful as a minority, and I'm like, okay, I mean, that's not racist, but
hot take. I don't necessarily think that that's an anti-Semitic thing to say if you're taking it very carefully in the context of that question, to say, how has this group been successful in these ways? I don't think that's an innately anti-Semitic question, as long as your answer isn't because conspiracy, blood libel. Then you're getting into anti-Semitism.
For me, when I hear that, I'm definitely like kind of going like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm often just like, and how do you think that happened? Because the answer is really going to be what tells whether this is whether it's an anti-Semitic thought or just someone asking. I mean, I think it's difficult, and I again, minor tangent,
I mean, Japan,
but like, I don't want to shut down
Japan
legitimate
does not have a
questions.
huge Jewish community either. Japan doesn't have a huge Jewish community. I think it was probably born out of, they've said some other shocking things that I won't repeat on the stream, but you can read it in her book, which is provided free of charge.
It's fast.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It could be
I'm East.
You're East, yeah. Might as well hold it.
Yeah.
All right, 6-9 pin weight. Let's do it.
You
people
go and say,
don't ever know. I've had enough of that nonsense in my life.
Kabuki-cho.
Oh, nice!
Wow, I am a lucky cow today. I am so sorry.
Hashtag blessed. Hashtag
so
game
sorry.
over.
Do we have time for another one, or we?
We definitely do. We definitely do because you were so late.
Okay.
That sucks. I'm so sorry. More Dave empathy coming out here. I am so sorry. That really sucks. A 9-pin deal into an early fast reach with the flip of 3 Dora.
Oh, obviously they're coming back for more. That Q popped immediately.
Yeah, people are like, this bullshit.
Coming for my blood now.
Bullshit. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about things like what is anti-Semitism that I think need to be are like.
Yeah,
there's a lot more finesse to it than people put there, and I find it very frustrating when people abuse the term to mean things that don't really fall under it.
Yeah.
And it also bothers me when people do this weird thing where they dredge up stuff from 15 years ago and think that's still like is representative of people. That's another weird.
I guess
hot current events take.
Being from Europe, I'm always a little bit like wary, like because I've heard these conversations and I know where they end up.
But it's a little bit like pornography where it's like, I know it when I see it, and it frustrates me a lot when people start to like preemptively try to slap conversations down with things like that's anti-Semitism when it's like, that's a question or that's a thought that does not necessarily reflect a pejorative view of people. So like, let's see where that goes a little bit before we declare that it's that. Yeah,
like questioning why certain ethnic minorities are reluctant to get the vaccine. This is not
there's
racism.
A lot of history. There's a lot of history of minorities being treated poorly by the medical establishment. So there's a reason why people. Do I think they're correct? I think they're incorrect. There's still a reason. I mean, more recently, it's been like there's been a lot of. I mean, I'll step right into it. There's been a lot of conversation more recently here about Israel and Palestine and things Israel has been doing in Palestine. They're not very nice to the Palestinians, and I think again, like saying like. It's bad for Israel to do this is not being anti-Semitic. And I'm really tired of people conflating the two. I think it's perfectly fine to criticize a government or military action.
I hate Benjamin Netanyahu. I have no problems with
You can personally hate him all you want.
To be honest, I hate all politicians, so Benjamin's probably
not.
He's not. I'm not singling out from special treatment. But yeah, there's I haven't enjoyed that conversation.
I mean, there's similar. I can talk more freely about these because it's for me. There's similar things. I mean, there's a similar division with things like the government of China versus the Chinese people. You can disagree with a lot of things the government of China does. It doesn't mean that you hate Chinese people for being Chinese. It means you don't like what that government is doing.
Yeah. Hey, you can hate the British government. Like, I don't take that to mean you hate me. I hate the British government. Can I join your
anti-Anglicism?
God. I guess
liked the
so.
Picts.
I don't really,
think the Picts were
I
pretty
don't even
cool.
really like these terms. Things like Anglo-Saxon even make me shudder, and I know the Americans love them. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
we just use those things to mean like white. Like we don't
Yeah, I know,
actually
but
know how any
you
of that
know, we
works.
the Anglo-Saxons, their entire culture was wiped out in 1066. The French made a whole tapestry of wiping us out. You know,
They did? Oh, that's mean.
wow,
Wait, didn't the
it's pretty good.
Saxons and the Normans
It's the
keep
guy
like
with the
hanging out?
arrow.
Didn't they both?
The,
The
so
Normans like
the
conquered the
culture.
Saxons, and then
So
am
that
I?
okay, it gets really complicated. So Anglo-Saxons, in the end, if you're really into your history, these things never like. There's this idea that the Anglos and the Saxons came to the island of Britain, pushing the Celts further out, and they came from Anglia and Saxony, right? So the Germanic groups.
Oh, by the way, you have chins in a lot of Dora. Or at least
I
two Dora.
know,
That's a
and this
lot.
is yeah, I'm going to call it out if I see the churn. So, but these are very kind of simplistic ideas that were created, and then of course the Normans came and destroyed. So it became the kingdom of Wessex, and the Normans came and they
Oh my god.
destroyed
Now you got
Wessex
East too.
and
Look
a
at that.
lot of culture.
Ooh,
I know I'm
Wessex.
doing
Wessex
well.
is a nice name. I like that name. I'd hang out in Wessex. It's like West Essex.
So yeah, and we destroyed. Yeah, it's basically West Essex. Yeah, and there used to be Sussex.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a Sussex. So there's Wessex and the
All
Sussex.
right,
Anyway, so they wiped.
Keep complaining. These tiles are great.
I know. So anyway, so the Normans came and they basically defeated. And this is what I don't understand. Anglo-Saxon. I mean, maybe I should understand because why do these people keep hooking on to the losing culture? Because they were defeated
It's
by the Normans.
easier to
And
ascribe fictitious things to something that doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to believe that once
Yeah.
upon a time there were like Atlantis, like, oh, Atlantis, I can pin anything on Atlantis. It's gone now, right? So I can say, well, in Atlantis, everything was amazing before it was wiped out by those bad people.
but yeah, so but there are obviously remnants of Anglo-Saxon culture still in the UK. But most of the buildings that you see are going to be Norman. I know there's some Anglo-Saxon fonts that still exist in Norman churches,
So
but
where
just
did the
like
Romans
the
come into
Celtic
this?
culture. So this is before, so that the Romans. This is where the Dark Ages gets complicated, right? So the Romans are there, and then they leave,
Right.
and then we're not really doing anything because we're so stupid, and then that's when we're invaded by the Germanic cultures.
Oh, and those are like the Picts and the other people. I only know the Picts. I feel like there were other Germans.
The Saxons.
The
Are,
Saxons. Oh, the
Saxons are
Saxons.
German.
Oh, okay. So the Saxons and
Yeah.
the Picts all came to show up on glorious England.
Yeah, and then of course and we were a vassal state basically of the Danes for a long time as well. We had to pay them something called Danegeld, or they would come, and so my town even was famously sacked by the Danes, and raped and pillaged.
Oh wow.
To extract money. It's I mean maybe I'm not the most. I think I am patriotic. I disagree. I think that I know my history and my culture and of my country very well. I'm folding. I'm not risking it here.
I know. And it's not even it's a good fold because one Hawk has already come out, so it's like it might even never show up. But like, it breaks my heart.
Yeah. So but like we're not. It's not like Britain has this constant history of absolute victory. We are constantly invaded and losing, and it's only really in the Victorian times and with the Industrial Revolution that we really come into our stride. I would have said. Most of the other times, we're fighting the French and losing against the French a lot.
You are so nicely Ishan-10 on still a very good hand if you can get rid of that 5-pin somehow.
Yeah, I would be more brave to get rid of the 5-pin if I saw a 2-pin come out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Again, like for Americans, things like Anglo-Saxon is all just this weird fantasy we have about. Oh, hey, 5-pin. It's all this weird fantasy about how the world works to us, but that's a sumo probably if it's waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 2-pin or 7-so.
Yeah. But it's yeah. I don't know. And then it's just yeah. And I don't like the way I like to introduce to Americans how all the white people in Europe also hate each other. How we're really racist against all the other white people because I don't think America really embraced white people and white people racism.
We did for a
Not
while.
like we have.
For a while.
Yeah.
And
For a
here,
while, and then
actually, in like the Northeast, especially, and in all the immigrant centers, we were very anti various groups of immigrants repeatedly as they came over. We didn't like the Italians, we didn't like the Irish, for the record. I have no animus
yeah.
against either of those people right now.
No, no,
Everyone's
no,
wonderful
no.
to me, but historically speaking, there were times when Irish people were looked down upon, and there were times when Italian people were looked down upon. I just want to be super clear so people don't think I'm spewing current hate speech. It just did happen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, but that's partly adopted from Europe, right? And you
Yeah, oh yeah.
look at the way the Germans were treated in the south of America, and then they spent a lot of time hiding the fact that they were of German extraction because of the wars, right? And now it's all
Yeah.
forgotten.
We have state-specific insults and regional insults. I don't know if I'd quite use the term slur for them. And this might be a very American perspective, but I would say like slurs usually have to do with negative terms for people who are like institutionally discriminated against, and like our interstate rivalries really aren't at that level and don't really work that way. So I don't think I'd use that term. I mean, you can call someone a masshole if you want to. No one's gonna be too.
I don't like the way people walk in Boston. I'm sorry if you're from Boston, but the way you walk is really
Bunch of
annoying.
assholes. And like I mean, here in the city, we talk badly about bridge and tunnel people. Like there's all sorts of
I heard that
negatives.
you people don't like Staten Island.
No one likes Staten Island. It's hot garbage. Again, it's fine to hear them because they're negative terms, but it's not hate speech. Saying someone's bridge and tunnel isn't hate speech. It's fine. It's not. There are definitely slurs here you should never say to anyone, but I'm not going to be saying them on the stream. You probably also already know them, to be honest. We're very open about our hate speech here in America. There probably aren't any. In fact, some of the slurs, like some things that are legit slurs, aren't even used. They're like old slurs, and it's actually weird to hear someone actually say them. I'm just like, did you really like said? No one says that. Like no one has said that in a long time.
Yeah, I have encountered an American reacting to something I said, saying that's a really old slur. Like I didn't say it's like a slur, like it's a normal kind of word for us, and then they were like, "Hey, you can't say that." Yeah, and I'm like, oh, really? That's bad. And it's funny, like some of the words that you people use are really quite offensive here now.
You people.
You people. You people. The Americans, the words that Americans use, especially for the neurodiverse, are entirely unacceptable here.
I think we have very different terminology hierarchies for mental illness.
Yeah, I'm like, I've heard them say, I'm like, my God, you can't say that. That's awful. But they do. They say it. And I do feel bad for any of the Americans on my Discord because I come down on it quite hard. I'm like, you're not saying that in my presence. You have to integrate with the Brits around here, I'm afraid. Oh, that 7 was full safe. I should have thrown that.
And when the U.S. is beneficial to drop your cultural ties of white and the other way around. It depends. There is definitely a tradition in the U.S., especially for Jews, actually, but for other people as well, to be honest, of, changing your name if you went to, like, entertainment to have a more, like, a less ethnic sounding and more generic sounding name. That's definitely true. The other way around,
I actually wrote I wrote a dissertation about Germans having to anglicize their names. Because they had to when they came. Partly they wanted to, right? They were emigrating to escape the old world. Like Germany had not been kind to them. They wanted to escape the religious and the political persecution. So they came to the new world and everyone was speaking English. And they wanted to embrace their new lives. And they often adopted anglicized names, right?
Oh, it must have been nice to do that voluntarily. I mean, a good part of the Ellis Island experience for many people coming to America was, how will the Ellis Island person write your name? That's why I'm not a Resnick. That's why I'm a Bresnik and not a Resnick. Because whoever happened to write down my family's name when we came to Ellis Island, put a B in front because that's how they heard it. And like a lot of people got their names kind of jumbled up by the folks who were just writing down what they heard, and they didn't have papers or documents. They just told them their name. So there was a huge shuffle that happened. And I mean, that's nothing like, to be honest, nothing like the black experience in America, frankly. But anyone, people who were brought here as slaves, again, not my experience, not my history, but to my knowledge, mostly had their culture just taken from them. Like they were completely renamed. They were punished if they continue their old cultural traditions. They were oftentimes like sent to church, and told like, this is education for you. Now you have to be Christian. Now go to church. So like I think people who non-white people in America oftentimes didn't get any choice as to whether or not they were going to change their cultural display, shall we say. And And it's a very strange thing. It's a very, I think, difficult. People who speak about it say it's a very difficult thing to manage or to deal with.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Yeah, America has.
Being forced to go to church. Well,
I
wouldn't like being forced to go to church.
I was forced to go to church, and I don't think I learned anything really.
I wouldn't like the Spanish Inquisition. Not a good time. Not a fan.
Do you know? I am really good at.
We're in the 2.5. Yeah, we're in the 2.5 now.
Yeah, I think that's a better one.
Read.
I'm really good at telling you Bible stories. Like, I actually quite like the Bible stories. Like, a lot of what Jesus says is don't be a shit to other people, and I can really get on board with that message.
Yeah, most of the actual content of the Bible is like not that bad. Like if you actually sit down and read the Bible, like most of what's really in there is like be nice to people.
I think you've really got to take out the letters. The letters are where stuff really goes horribly wrong. And because the Old Testament, for the Christianity at least, the Old Testament is replaced by what Jesus says. We don't have to look at that.
It's not supposed to be.
So that's what we were told. So that's
I think Jesus said that neither one jot nor one tittle shall pass from the law. He said it was all still relevant, and then people didn't want to listen to that.
Yeah, well, that's true. But then the idea was that a new covenant with God was created. Okay, look, just accept the Christians pick and choose as they please. It's like pick and mix for us, all right?
So that's Matthew 5:18. He says.
And we interpret it differently. Differently, okay? Just listen to us. It's fine.
I like the person analyzing this text is literally named
Christians.
Boring.
I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean... I have a lot of respect, actually, for people who have faith of any kind. I think that they're... you can apply it in very positive ways. It's unfortunate that any time it gets in state hands, it's applied in massively negative ways.
Oh no! Fast reach, man. Sesame is really really pushing it here. They got a lot of reaches going on. Hebrews for education. These are Hebrews, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing okay here anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like forcing people to go to church always has the opposite effect of making people join the church. That's a nice reach. Yeah, I think anyone who's forced to go to church tends to hate the church.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've always said no organization. Oh, and you win, hooray! We do technically have time for one more because we were so late getting started.
Okay, let's get one.
No organization has pushes people out of it as efficiently as the Catholic Church. I've never seen anything like it. How aggressively everyone who's like, I grew up Catholic, I'll never go to Catholic Church again. Like they just hate it.
Unless you're Boris is now Catholic. Oh my God, which is really very.
Wait, Boris is Catholic.
Very.
Did he become Catholic?
He was born Catholic and then he converted to Anglican. I can't say Anglican. He converted to the Anglican Church, and then he's reconverted to Catholicism, which is really it's quite shocking because I didn't think we were allowed a Catholic Prime Minister. I thought that was one of the constitutional laws. Hey ho. We now have a Catholic Prime Minister because Tony Blair actually delayed his converting to Catholicism until he was he was no longer the Prime Minister because of the constitutional concerns.
Interesting.
It doesn't personally bother me, because that's such an outdated law. We're not that worried about the Spanish and the French anymore, or the Vatican. But technically, he's actually not allowed to advise the Queen, which he has to do as Prime Minister, right? He has to go to the Prime Minister and say, I advise that you form this part, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he can't, technically not allowed to do that if you're a Catholic, because she's the head of the Church of England. It's very silly.
It is a little silly.
It's very silly. It's really, I don't like Boris for a lot of things, but I kind of respect him for just deciding that's too silly to care about.
That's fair.
Yeah. But he's married now. Fourth wife? I don't even know how many.
Had a football player collapse.
Oh, really? Yes, we're not playing, are we? Who's playing?
Oh, this is Denmark.
Oh, that's bad. I want people to collapse. Yeah, no, we're playing tomorrow, England, Croatia. I've got my England flag shirt ready to wear.
Ooh.
Dust it off every now and then. I can be very patriotic.
Oh my god, there's a lot of Dora too. You keep getting all the Dora. You gotta like.
Shut up, you socialist. They're all mine now.
You need the red. You need the red 5, and then you need 3 melon. That's what you need.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Fill in that gap. You're with the holy pudding Charlotte. And Ari Valkyrie. You're with a whole different group of people now. I got a novice, a fourth
played
Q, and a
pudding
third
Charlotte.
Dan.
Why is everyone playing Mahjong today?
It's Saturday. It's a happy day for Mahjong.
Hold on the door, never hit tempai such as Mahjong. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we have ranted. We have tackled some sketchy topics. That
difficult
probably
social
should be
issues.
tackled on a Twitch gaming stream. And
It's fine. Again, my feet are in a tiny hot tub.
And
so
your feet and so really we have covered
right.
all of it.
We're doing this right.
Yeah, this is how you stream, right?
This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing on Twitch. There's no, I don't know, man. This is why I don't stream more. I love hanging out with all y'alls, but like.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really. I like talking to you guys.
Yeah,
You're fun. There's no way I'd be motivated to be constantly pushing the follower count up.
I just can't see getting over sitting by myself talking to myself.
Do you know what? So I was streaming for quite a while. The talking to yourself, it became quite therapeutic after a while. Actually, my Mahjong got a lot better because I was playing Mahjong. I just talked to myself about my Mahjong game. Okay, well, I can see this many. I'm going to throw this. My plan is this. So I was just talking to myself about that. And actually, I think that made my game better. Yeah, I don't know how these girls manage to sit in a hot tub and talk to themselves for hours on end. That's beyond me because I just don't have that many interesting things in my head to say.
Interact with your chat.
Yeah, but the things they're saying are so boring.
Well, you got to make them feel like they're not saying boring. This is the trick, right? You make the chat feel like they're not boring, and then they're like, "Oh, she's so great. I wish she was my girlfriend," and then they subscribe to you.
This is where I'm shit at it, isn't it? No, I mean, no, I couldn't, because all they're saying is "Oh wow, aren't you so hot? You're pretty." Blah blah blah. What'd you say to that?
I must be so rough to get a constant torrent of compliments.
No, all you have to do is be a female, and you may then date them. That's all they're thinking.
All right. Well, no one wants to watch my stream for that. Makes me feel a little sad. No one thinks they got a shot at dating me.
Exactly, and I am sad for male streamers that they are not respected for the content they're producing, and they're only interested. These people are just but it's not all Twitch audience.
No, of course not.
It's not all Twitch audience. Plenty of Twitch audience are just wanting to hang out and play games and have that experience of when you're in school.
The compliment gun.
And
please not the compliment gun.
But when you're in school and you used to sit down and watch your friends play a game. I used to love watching people play Silent Hill, for example. And just chatting and hanging out. That's what I liked about Twitch initially. That it kind of replicated that thing that I can't do anymore because I'm old,
You can. You just got to get cooler friends. I'm gonna keep eating these Listerine breath strips. I don't know why I kind of like them.
Well, I can't in coronavirus, but it's partly this is bad. It's also partly I had a lot of time when I was in college. And it was I didn't have to organize it, right? You just went downstairs in the share house and someone was doing it. And you just joined them, and that's what the thing with Twitch. It's okay, I want to hang out with someone. I just turn it on.
That's my problem. It's I don't really have time. I'd have to end up devoting a good chunk of my day to doing something like that, and it's I don't know what is or isn't appealing to a Twitch audience. That's the other thing, and I feel like a lot of times it's dumb luck when you watch the trajectory of many of these people. They just kind of did a bunch of stuff until something they did caught, and then enough people watched them that they just kind of got a cyclical fan base, and it's
Yeah, I mean, not what we're doing is not what they want, and obviously.
I don't know, maybe no one knows. Maybe. Yeah, jump into the right game at the right time.
Yeah, but you always have to be changing it up as well. That's the thing. You can't just be doing the thing you like. You always have to be thinking about what they like.
Which, to be fair, I'd be much more interested in doing if they were also paying me a lot of money, which for the big streamers, of course, then it's your job, right? That's what you're doing. And so, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's probably time to bail on this. I think the dream is dead.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
dear.
almost dead. I don't know, like having watched Amaranth for several years now, I definitely think she's dead in those eyes. There is no light left now. And I think that's kind of sad, because it's supposed to be creative, right? It's
No,
supposed to
it's
be
not.
creative, and you're
It's not
supposed to.
creative. I feel like you're
It should
wrong.
be. Well, it's no, it's like when I went into the games industry and I was like, oh wow, I'm getting into creative industry, and then I went into it
Then
and
you
I
realize it's
realized that
not a
everyone was
creative
dead
industry.
inside.
It's a people pleasing industry. It's food.
It's not even a people pleasing industry. It's an extracting their money industry. Like
Oh yeah, games can be a little weird, but it's like food. And maybe
like,
maybe it's as creative as food. Maybe that's a good way to think about it,
no,
right?
no, 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 no. If you go to a good restaurant, those chefs are very creative. They are artists. Hmm. Hmm.
It's true, but at the same time, even
If
at
you
a
go to
good restaurant,
McDonald's
you're
now,
gonna get some rich guy who walks in. It's like, give me a hamburger. Like I
mm,
insist that you make me a hamburger, and they don't want like the creative stuff. There's like you can be creative to a point, but you also have to please the palate of the people who are coming to eat your food. Um,
it
and
does look
like,
like a Dave hand. You're right.
is it? What's a
I
Dave
don't.
hand? Hold on, hold
Yeah.
on, hold on a minute. What's a Dave hand?
Flush or chanter.
Can't believe
My hands are Sanshoku or multiple Dora I don't deserve.
Trinzadora. That does make it a Dave hand already. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at that.
15,000 a month. Rutalor. My God. 15,000 a month.
I wouldn't be shocked at
Has she
that.
got all her clothes on? Has she got all her clothes? That's all she's
Probably,
doing. She's just playing
probably.
computer games.
She says. I mean,
She's just playing
but again,
computer
I wouldn't be surprised because and this is good and bad at the same time. But like these weird parasocial relationships, like you don't actually need to encourage it. People just do it. And they do it without you telling them to, and without you, deliberately doing anything about it. And if you're a girl, it's easier. And yeah, you can just sit there and let people subscribe to you and donate to you and hang out, and you don't have to be Amaranth.
Yeah, no, the biggest streamers are like PewDiePie and Ninja. So the boys do get a look in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, yo, Mahjong back is entirely true. One of those hands we've just read it
You
down.
just read it
Yeah,
down.
this
Yeah,
is like a
just
New
make
York.
it happen.
It's a New Yorker hand,
You're-
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, no, it's not that you have to be a girl to be a popular streamer at all. That's not true. I don't think that's true by any means. But you do get
Even
this weird
PewDiePie, though.
bonus of like. Well, PewDiePie had that weird like I built an audience. He made YouTube videos for like 3-year-olds to like his like
Yeah.
weird reaction games. Then he built this long-term audience who just watches him because they know who he is. And all right, cool. People run in New York. People run all
Yeah,
over the place.
but I think he's done stuff in his more recent days that I'm pretty sure he regrets.
Probably
But
not.
I know. I think people get stuck in this kind of, they constantly have to escalate to stay on top.
Yeah, I just don't think he regrets it.
And
He's
that,
making money off it. It's his job. I don't think he regrets it. I don't think
I,
he ever really meant it to begin with. I just don't think he cares.
I think he probably does care. I think people get stuck in like that mentality, and then they step
Feel like
out of it, and they're like,
grooming an
oh
audience.
no.
That's a tough call. A tough call there.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, we've talked about the pros and cons on Twitch a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the thing is like, I mean, people have done interesting gimmicks on Twitch and gotten popular. Like, there's plenty of ways to get popular if what you're looking to do is
Yeah,
get
like
popular.
like Twitch plays Pokemon was hilarious. I love that.
That was a cool idea. The longest con.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like for me at least, like I don't know what I would do to be. And it's again like the more I read the stories of people who've gotten famous like this, is like they've spent years trying to hit something in media. Like they spent so much time trying to find something that sticks, trying to find something that sticks. I don't know, man. Like,
And all those people, there's people who are failing left, right, and center. For
Oh, for
everyone
sure.
who succeeds, there's like
There's so many people
a
who
million
never
who
made it.
failed. Yeah, and I look at the things that I'd have to do as a female. I'm just not doing it.
yeah,
I find so much reward from things like WRC anyway. Like, I do enjoy streaming. I did enjoy streaming when I did do it. But then WRC took over my life once more, and it's like the 12
Flush
months
is
in the
not
run up to a
cooperating.
WRC takes up all your time. It's not cooperating. It takes up all your time, and then of course this WRC, because it's like it's like that zombie that refuses to die. Just keeps
Well,
chasing me.
remember, Kyrol, you don't actually have to do that if you appeal to 12-year-olds. And this is one of the weird things about how all this works. If you, as PewDiePie, so to speak, spend your time on YouTube appealing to 12-year-olds, YouTube will pay you based on how many viewers are watching your video. They don't care if those viewers have money or not. They care about how many eyes an ad gets put in front of. So, like, yeah, and frankly, appealing to 12-year-olds is great. It's easy to do. They're easy to entertain. And you'll get their eyes, and then YouTube will pay you for it. So, like, it's a shorter con than you might imagine.
Oh, thanks, Rudelaw. I enjoy
Rudelaw.
Saturdays. I was sad we couldn't do it last Saturday, and I was sad that Dave had to leave us for his fun.
Taking a vacation, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it gives me nice structure in my life. Come and chat with you guys, and I play some mahjong, and it's sometimes not terrible.
You might pull this off, but it would be a tough.
I'm really just waiting on that 3, aren't I? There's 2 out already.
Yeah,
so there's 1 left.
It's rough.
I almost wonder if I should have called that 2.
Maybe. I don't know if you really would have been able to save yourself, though. I think you would have been left in an equally bad position.
I can get rid of that now. Now the hell is going to come when I get an opportunity for the 6th man and I have to decide whether I throw the door.
Yeah, that's going to be the tricky part. If there was a way to call
I think I can probably get away with it.
The 4-man's not dead, but it's wounded. It's half dead. There you go.
It's just there's no 3-man left. There's no way I can make it better either. Now I can call the 1 or the 2 if it comes out. Right,
yeah.
Balls. I can call the red dragon as well, and West might throw the red dragon. It's 5-hand hand, right?
Yeah. It's at least 5, if not 7, if you get the red dragon.
Didn't work out. It's quick or full. Wait. It was worth it as dealer.
Yeah, you had to. You kind of had to. It was push time. It was push time.
Early 5, so to dash you straight out of the hand. Oh, it's not straight out of the hand, out of the hand. That makes me feel more willing to push the 3 bamboo. Yeah. Well, I flirted with it until someone had discarded it, so I knew it was entirely safe.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, this is not bad.
This is not bad.
3 Dora in my hand.
Yeah, you could just make that
2
8,000
value
right back.
pairs. Yeah. I want it back now.
All right, yeah, let's get it back. Let's get it back. Let's do it. I'm down with this.
I don't usually play this many East-only rounds, actually. It's not. I don't think East-only is my talent, personally. This has probably been quite instructive for me.
It's definitely a different texture when you have to push so hard.
Yeah, and I hate all that emphasis on your dealership, right?
Yeah, it's
On
like
the
the
very
only one
first
you
one.
get, and so it's so important.
Especially if you start East, right? Like you have to. This is it. You know, there's no, just kind of squeaking through because you don't know what squeaking through looks like yet.
I'm stressed by your draws. Also, everyone at this mahjong table has their weapons on them, which is a little threatening.
I always find it quite curious that in Europe people were really, I mean, maybe it's the same in America, that the mahjong community was really obsessed with, being East first was a good thing, and that was partly because tables weren't always finishing all their hands in the time limit. But every time I sat as East first, I was like, oh no, there's no warm up, there's no kind of feeling out the other players.
I've grown to dislike being first East a lot, where I'm just I want to figure out what the groove is before I know how I should be playing, and when I'm first East, it's just like, well,
I like being
plow
North.
ahead.
I like having the power of being the final dealer in Auras. I mean that's difficult if you know that you're people who are not going to finish their hands. Then it's
then it gets tricky. But you're right.
Generally,
Like, if I'm gonna finish the
generally
game,
people are good now.
being the dealer in last is kind of good.
Yeah. You've got all the conditions to win, and you're in the powerful spot. You know, you can push, you can. Yeah. There's a lot more to do, a lot more fun to be had. I think.
Just need this 4-pin.
She says, "I want to push as much in the games I played today. If they went to South, shame about." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to be super aggressive if you are. I'm gonna not do that one. You have to be super aggressive if you are. I could have done it, couldn't I? Could I?
Could have.
No. I really want the 4 here, though.
Yeah, I really want the 4-pin. Or another 3-pin would be actually interesting.
Yeah, when you East one in a timed game, you run down, you could bust someone. Not as yeah, no, yeah. It's yeah. Timed. Yeah, the timer is without automatic tables. It's tough. Automatic tables, it's a breeze. But until our community is big enough and rich enough to provide automatic tables, and even then, like, what would we do with them between events? Like, how many tables are there? 50 tables in WRC for 200 players? Yeah. That was really slow. That took me way too long to quadruple 50. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, there are balls. You know, what are you going to do? And they can't store them. So there's 2 4s out already. So if the 2 comes, I'm going to call that anyway. So then it's what? 2 Dora, North, potentially Red Dragon.
Yeah, so that hits Mongon. But I want that 4-pin real bad. The only problem with getting rid of that 7, which is why I wouldn't have done it, is if you get another 3-pin. If you still have the 7, you could swap the 3s in as a pair. But I feel like if no, maybe you're right on that one. The thing I was thinking is if I throw the 7 pins, I can then, if I get the 8 bamboo or the Red Dragon, I can throw the 1 pin, and then people might think that the 4 is safe. True. You've now sushi'd it out. That's true.
But I can now switch around. And you know what? I like your argument. I'm going to go with your argument because I still now have my suji,
you still have it. Yeah.
Central suji. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like your argument better than my argument, though.
Although
I think
the
my
3s are not
probably
coming out, so who knows where they are.
They could still be in the wall. Although the 2 4 pins. So South for a 4 pin straight off the bat, which concerns me that they've already got 2 3 pins locked in place. Why else would they do it? East here is a novice, so you know I'm not. It's difficult to know what level they're at.
What they're doing with these different tiles. This is rough.
3-3-2. Oh, yeah, that is. Yeah, West discards into this is really interesting. This is not safe, but I think I can get away with it.
Possibly.
It's not safe. They throw that 3-man out fairly early, and then they let time out anyway, so it was gone.
We're waiting on the result.
I think they already secured that shape with when the 3-man came out. I think they already had their group sorted because it came out so much earlier. And then it's that 3-3-2 bamboo throws. What are they doing? Something's happening there, which is really, as Mahjong Backer quite rightly points out. Yeah, fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but I did swear.
I can't believe you swore.
I think
so we're just gonna get ready on it, and we look very threatening for a so flush actually.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll push someone into that 4.
I think someone else has got 2 red dragons though. I think they're sitting in someone else's hand.
It's a fair worry after all this time.
I don't see any white dragons either.
Yeah, something's going on, but I feel like this 4-pin is going to look mighty safe.
You'd hope so, right? There's no white dragons. The green dragons come out really late. There's no easts. Where's the red?
Yeah.
There's no easts. So I could actually fold now if I wanted to.
That's true. You do have that. You now have the Chuns you could fold with. Chun is very suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah. So east must be folding, right? Oh, look.
In before putting as a pair of 4p.
I'd love to know what happened with the 3-3-2 there.
Dora, it was a 3-6.
I'm not doing so well this game, am I? Oh, Audas as well. I was fast. So what can I make? Can I get to second on this? Have to direct hit south or north, right? East, maybe. Hanuman? Maybe. Wouldn't be enough even, would it? It'd be enough to put me in second. Chunpon and Dorotaki. 5-pin was. Yeah. I think I was kind of tempted to. If I became very concerned about a tile that I drew, I was going to throw the red dragons.
Hanuman Sumo will do it, but it's got to be a Hanuman Sumo.
Yeah, I've got 2 Dora. That's a nice start.
Yeah.
North are not value.
Maybe.
A flush, Dave.
A half flush with the Norths.
No, not even a half flush. It's too far.
You got lots of tiles to go.
It's too far. And I'd have to start calling it so aggressive.
Hashtag no faith. Hashtag no faith.
Hey, I had faith in that San Ankle, and that because that had deserved to have faith in, and someone's reached now. What am I gonna do with that?
Ignore it. I mean,
Just
you're in
ignore
last
it.
place in the last round. What are you gonna do?
I could. Well, I mean, I can flirt this into a Tanya maybe now.
Maybe you could also get to Pinfu.
Pinfu, Tanya, Dora, Sunny Manga, Riichi,
Sumo.
Yeah.
Riichi, Pinfu, Tanya, Sumo, Dora, is Hanuman Sumo.
Do you reckon if I just, I'm just fancying to draw it? Yeah. Yeah, do you reckon if I just call out things that I need in my life, like affirmations, they'll come? Like I need a bigger house.
Oh, yeah, that's how it works.
Actually, I don't need that much. I just need a bigger house. That's all I need.
Maybe I should buy one. Do you have any houses up for sale on your plot? I'll buy a house there.
Yeah, next door went and you missed it.
Oh, no.
It sold for £180,000 in the end. It's ridiculous.
That's it?
Do you know what's even more ridiculous, though? Is that 2 doors down, they moved out to move in with his daughter or whatever. Anyway, so to rent this house on the market as a regular renter, it would cost you $750, $800 a month, right? However, he's found out that he can let it on Airbnb for $4,700 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you ever let out to a regular renter anymore? Over £4,000. I was like, well, you should buy them and just let them all out for £4,000 a month. That is insane.
No, Airbnb it's a crazy lucrative thing that's leading to people just Airbnb-ing out properties as like investment Airbnb properties, which is really bad for like everyone. Oh no, it's
one of the reasons I'm thinking about moving. Like it's really becoming hell to live near all these Airbnbs. It's the worst. They never put their rubbish out. You never know who's coming and going. It's like a hotel.
Oh, it is a hotel.
Just not really. Yeah, but they shouldn't be allowed to do it.
It's a completely unregulated hotel.
Yeah. It's really wrong. And I blame my government for not regulating it. I actually have not a bad hand here, but I really need Tanya, right?
Yeah, you need another Dora to get there. That'll be a rough trade for you, but you can handle it.
And I can't call it, can I?
No. But if you get a 5-man,
So
you can get a red 5-man and be fine. Oh, you can't call that. Which sucks. Oh!
but they got pushed
Curses.
into fourth. I'm third.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm still last. Sorry, I didn't
No,
do
you
the maths right.
You didn't quite get it. Yeah, but if it's happening and it's illegal, it can get called out. You can report it. Like, and that's really the problem. And this is the really frustrating thing about all of this, right? Like, you can technically make more money by selling your home like piecemeal to little Airbnb renters over time who are paying to go to your home than you do to like setting up a rental contract. And it's like, I don't know if it's better for you or not, but it's more money for you. So like, why not? It's very strange. And it's like, it's because
What
Airbnbs
really annoyed
don't
me
have to be
is-
regulated like hotels do. And that's like what lets them make more money off of it. And like, I don't know. I just, it bothers me a lot.
Yeah, what really annoyed me was the guy who let his dad. He never came and spoke to me. You know, he didn't come and say like, you know, oh, I'm going to rent it out. Here's my phone number if something goes wrong. You know, because he started a little fire over there a couple of weekends ago. You know, like, yeah, I think it's really poor form personally. You know, I have no problems with Airbnb where people are letting out like a room in their home, or let's say they're going on holiday and they let out their property whilst they're on holiday. Like, these are all, that's the sharing economy, right? That's how it should have
No,
worked.
I actually hate that. I still hate that. Just because I think that, like, I don't know. I don't like this idea that every little nook and cranny in your life is a place that some company's going to, like, jam a spoon in and scoop out profit. And there's nothing you just do anymore. There's nothing you just do without someone trying to stick some profitable little thing in there that'll let them make money off of you doing it. And, like, just let me live my life. I don't need to spend my life finding ways to squeeze $10 out of every niche. Sometimes I just want to go on the subway and take a nap, or I want to go on vacation and not like rent out my home while I'm not in it so that someone can make money out of this tiny little, like, I don't know, man. It's not, efficiency isn't the be all end all of everything. I just want to have a nice life where I don't, you know, and I don't want to have to work. On the other hand, I don't want to work as a gig worker where it's like I have to spend every hour of my day squeezing in as many tiny jobs as I can in order to make money. Like, that's just inhumane. It's terrible.
Because I've been a freelancer basically most of my working life, and I did laugh when people were like, "Oh, we're gonna have the gig economy, and like, you know, people are gonna be able to do this, this, and this." And I'm like, I've been a freelancer for a long time, and it's there's things I love about it, but there's also hellish things. I just don't think it's for everyone. But they're trying to force everyone to do what is basically the hustle, you know, the hustle of being a freelancer.
Carol, everyone has the right to live that way. Everyone has the right to have a decent income and not have to struggle to make ends meet. And the only reason people can afford to pay people so little that they can't is because of all of these things that give them excuses. Yeah. That's why you have people like in fucking Walmart and McDonald's saying, congratulations on your new job. Here's the paperwork you can fill out to get food stamps so you can survive on it. Like, that is the hottest garbage people, I can imagine. That should be illegal.
The people who are staying in this Airbnb down the just a few doors down, none of those are poor people. None of those are looking for a cheap holiday. No one has a cheap holiday at £1,200 a week. No one.
I'm renting. I'm basically acting as a serf, where when I happen to not be in my home, a lord can come and use my home for a pittance to me. You know, like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And what I hate is, to some degree, I hate that attitude. And it's not a personal statement, but I hate that attitude of where people who have been squeezed so much by how much our economy does not pay people and how much they do not make, that they think, but without these things, I wouldn't be able to make enough money to live. And they don't see that this is actually emblematic of a big systemic problem. We are not giving people the money they need to live from their job. And like,
I mean, if anyone here is having to gig economy because they have to make ends meet, I'm not talking, you know, there's no judgment here at all. I have to do stuff to make ends meet all the time.
It depends on how you look at it, though. Like, renting can be a surf thing or it can be a not surf thing, depending on how much money you have to throw away. Like, if you look at the co-op buildings in Manhattan where people effectively rent, like, meh. But if you have to make your house available to not you for 1 week while you're away to make enough money to live, like, meh.
It shouldn't be like that. Everyone should be able to. Well, I mean, you know. I like minimum wage being
it's all symptoms. It's all symptoms, not causes. It's all symptoms, not causes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just in it, you know, the way that we treat the gig workers, you know, it's basically a way that employers don't have to take responsibility for their employees. They don't have to pay their pensions. They don't have to pay their sick pays, and everything is responsibility on the worker. Now, okay, that's fine. Like, I agree. Like, when I was a student, I loved working part-time in McDonald's on shifts, which suited me, right? I'd like to point out that McDonald's actually did employ me properly and got paid, and I had my pension and all the other stuff paid properly, because that was the late 90s and things were much better then. But still, you know, I wanted that kind. I did when I was a student. I did need more of that, but extending that to everyone, you know, to everyone is crazy.
It just boils down to what people will tolerate, and a lot of times people end up tolerating these things because they're not given another option. Like you just slowly boil the water around the lobster. And what are people going to do? It's like, okay, well, I take this job that abuses me and gives me crappy parameters, or I don't take a job. And obviously they're going to choose to take a job because they want to eat and survive, and they need to. And so slowly but surely over the generations, this has become seen as like par for the course, when for previous generations it definitely wouldn't be. It would have been seen as insane.
Yeah, and you know, and of course, there's no kind of, you know, unemployment in this country at least is just shockingly low, terrifying. I just, you know, even thinking about it petrifies me if I ever had to end up on it for whatever reason. You know, I touch wood that I don't, but let's be honest here. You know, it's some of it is just down to sheer dumb luck, right? You know, this idea that these people who end up without a job have somehow done something wrong is bullshit. You know, especially after coronavirus, we think that we'd have caught on to the fact that people lose their jobs through no fault of their own all the sodding time. And yeah, so then there's no choice, is there? If someone comes and offers you this gig economy job that will pay you marginally over what you would gain on welfare, you have to take it, don't you? Because it's a slight improvement. But it's not a substantial improvement anymore.
That's what's so crazy about this. It's just like,
you get £3,300 carer's allowance. Is that all? Fuck me. That's sick. I'm so sorry, Terrell.
What is a care? I literally do not know what a carer's allowance is. I'm sorry.
So if you're caring for someone, we in this country, you know what, Terrell probably knows better than a month. 3,300 a month? Okay, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. For a year, I was like, fuck me.
That's not terrible.
So in the UK, and I have heard people getting shockingly low amounts in the UK, so I'm not really sure how it works.
It's
so basically, if you have to care for someone.
That's crazy.
Oh, $270 a month. Oh my god, it's not enough. So in the UK, if you have to care for someone basically full time, then you can claim some money from the government for your labour, basically. You probably don't do this in America at all, so we're slightly step up.
I
maybe.
don't think we do that at all.
But,
I think.
But it doesn't even come close to the amount of working hours that is lost by that, you know, able-bodied person. And a lot of these people who end up carers as their children, you know, because their parents have a disability or something, you know, happens to them. And so, you know, children end up having to care for their parents from a very young age, you know, as teenagers. And there's you know, their education's impacted. You know, they're doing such an awful, you know, not an awful job, but it's time intensive, it's emotionally intensive. And it's not recognized, you know, the labor's not recognized, even though, you know, basically they're helping the state, because now the state doesn't have to take them into state care.
Right. Yeah, it's all right. We can't solve
fix
our social
this social
problems
ill today.
But yeah, it's rough, Carol. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, you know, my heart goes out for you, Carol. And every time I have an opportunity to vote for people who would change that shit, I do vote for them, which means I don't vote for a certain somebody. I would like the world to be better for everyone. I'm just in that, nice. You know, it's, yeah, you know what, in the end, if we can raise up the level of the people below us, the bottom of our society, we will all come up with them. That's the way it works. And I think people forget that. They're not taking stuff from those of us who are a little better off. We will all come up together. I'm a stinking socialist, aren't I?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't. I see why you would be. Anyways.
And I also want to end Airbnb, which is not socialist. I want to end it.
Yeah. Just...
Anyway, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on the wagon.
Dave doesn't go on any more holidays.
We'll be back next week. I'm not going on any holidays, but I will be older next week, so it'll be very surprising.
You'll be even more beautiful than you are now. You're like fine wine.
Not sure about that. All right. Anyways.
Oh, thanks, Rita. I'm counting for you when I finally get. Yeah, now I'm hungry too, man.
Don't vote. Don't vote for Dave. It's I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe still. Yeah, vote for Dave. Vote for Dave for all offices forever.
Mandatory Mahjong lessons every week.
Oh yeah. Mahjong becomes a mandatory national sport. That's how you do it.
Exactly. Life should be seen. Never apologize for sharing your truth.
Absolutely. It's good to actually talk about these things and not just refuse to. So, all right. I will see everyone later. Farewell for now. See you all next
Thanks,
week.
guys.
Bye.
And state scholarships. So keep the platform coming.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. I'll teach them badly. Goodbye, everyone.